Good afternoon and welcome to Temple Hill for this Energia All-Ireland League Division 1A semi-final. Cork Constitution, last winners in 2019, faced off against last year's beaten finalists Clontarf. We'll have full live commentary from 2:30pm. Kickoff here is at 2:30pm, and we'll have updates from all other 9 promotion and relegation divisional finals. Joining me this afternoon, no strangers to Energia All-Ireland League themselves, Mr. Ger Burke and Dan Mooney. Berkey, you've been here a little bit earlier than us. The sense of anticipation is palpable.
Yeah, I've been in Cork all week. Spoke to Johnny Holland a while ago. I think Cork's probably needed this, or Munster's needed this, a home semi-final. It's been a while. It's been since 2019. You know, that's a long stint. You know, COVID, I know, puts things in perspective, but it's been a long time since we had a home semi-final down this part of the world. Obviously, everyone involved in Cork Con is itching. There's a real sense of occasion. Look at the weather, look at the surface, look at the ground. 2 historic clubs. But what I loved about it is even there's so many neutrals speaking about this. There's been a lot of people here today to watch a cracking game of rugby. I think the product is becoming very, very attractive.
Dan, the season overall, we've been speaking about it all week. The leagues are going from strength to strength, and it's a real show, as Jerry said, that there's a real sense and a buzz around Cork, not just from Cork Con and Clontarf, but also the neutrals today.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I am the neutral. I'm the guy now. For the first time in quite a while, I'm not stressed about a semi-final. I'm coming to watch a game of rugby, and I'm excited about it all week long. I mean, these are two of the best, most consistent sides in the league, and the second versus third thing is a dinger. First and fourth, there's a certain amount of, there's a heavy favourite and there's a not heavy favourite. With this second, third thing, there's no favourites here. This is a 50-50 game of rugby. The conditions are amazing. It's just going to be a cracking day. And if you're a neutral, an incredible product to be able to watch and something to be able to take in. It's exciting, you know.
Berkey, let's talk about the 2 regular season round games. We saw a 30-26 win for Tarf and a 27-26 win for Con. How much does regular season form count as you head into a knockout semi-final?
Normally probably not a lot. It's about getting to the top 4 in the semi-final is what it is. However, I think context is everything. You know, 2 seasons back, a lot of this Cork Con team went to Clontarf and they were well and truly beaten. They were physically beaten up. There's a lot of those lads that are coming of age now. The Dave Hoylands of this world, captaining Con, leading them out today. You know, he's a different man to the boy that was playing in Clontarf a couple of years ago. And there's many other examples of that. So I think when they went to Tarf in the regular season, they showed that they could be competitive. It was massive. And then when it came to the game here in the second round of the games, I was at it. And Con were by far the better side. Scoreline wouldn't have suggested that, but for me, they played the better rugby. But also a warning sign: Tarf don't need to play their best. They're clinical, they're experienced, and they will punish you if you make mistakes. And they nearly caught Con that day. It was a late score to get the win. But I think psychologically that was massive for Con. I think just going back to what Dan was saying, at various points in the season, this is second v third, but for various points of the season, Clontarf were the best team in the country for a period. Then for me, Cork Con were the best team in the country for a period. Terranure were the best team in the country coming into the latter part of it, and we'll see them later on. But I think on their day, these are 2 of the best teams you'll see.
Indeed. Dan, in terms of today, we obviously have a 2:30pm kickoff today. This follows Lansdowne and Terranure, at 4:30 in Lakelands. There's interest all over the country today. We see Wesley play off against Garryono, Belvedere play against Shannon, the likes of Galwegians and Bruff. There really is nothing quite like Saturday in the Energia All-Ireland League when it comes to knockout rugby.
No, 100%. I mean, particularly when your side's not in it, you can just sit back and enjoy and watch the whole thing. It's an incredible thing to be able to take in. And the fact that we can do this, we can watch this match, we can broadcast this, we can show this to the world, and then immediately afterwards we can nip in there, we can have ourselves a little pint and we can watch the other semi-final. It's an incredible product to be able to bring, you know.
Sorry. Like last year we streamed 2 of them at the same time, which was disappointing. So you were having your audience, but also the weather played havoc. I think this year we have 2 semi-finals on at 2 different times, and it's just made for rugby. You know, the weather here and in Dublin, like, it's just made for so hopefully we get the product that the AIL deserves.
Indeed we will. Well, Met Éireann were right for one thing anyways. They predicted sunshine today. Kick-off here is at 2:30pm. A little earlier on we spoke to head coach Andy Wood and Cork Con's Johnny Holland. Andy Wood, Energia All-Ireland League Division 1A semi-final. Dry track, weather is perfect. How's the week preparations been?
You know, it's been really good. You know, as you know, it's an exciting time of the year for the AIL overall, and you know, in our context, it's it's a new challenge coming away for the semi. And to be honest, looking at the deck and obviously the conditions above, you know, it's ideal. You know, it's the first time I've actually had to wear a cap this year. So no, it's been, look, it's fantastic. Great occasion, great day for it too. You know,
The 2 games in the regular season were absolutely titanic tussles. Can we expect more of the same today?
I would expect so. Yeah, I think there's 2. Look, you get to this part of the season, and there's not going to be an awful lot between the teams. So yeah, we'll be looking for we'll be expecting another big battle anyway. That's for sure. Yeah.
And in terms of this Cork Con team, and you mentioned the weather, what kind of threats are you wary of that they pose?
Look, they're good from 1 to 15. You know, they've got a steady set piece. They've got some electric backs as well, to be fair, and their back 3 in particular. I know Rob German's on the bench as well, and he'll look to spark it up as well. So no, they've got threats across the park, and obviously with James Taylor back as well, they can certainly play. They can you know, with ball in hand, they can also, you know, build territory as well through the 9, through the scrum halves. So yeah, no, look, they're they sort of have a defined way of style of playing, but they can adjust it as well. So no, it'll be a good challenge today, no question.
Good luck today, Andy.
Thanks a million. Cheers, Fools.
I'm joined here by Johnny Holland, head coach of Cork Constitution. First of all, Johnny, what an occasion, what a day.
Like the weather, look at it, and I think, like, in fairness, you know, we were keen to get the game back down here. You know, that was always the aim all year, get a home semi-final. But like, if you look at the pitch and the track that we're playing on, you know, it's a compliment to the staff here. But like, you know, it kind of lives up to a semi-final. I think it's the right place to have it. Obviously for us, we're happy to do that. It's a bit of an advantage, but you know, the semi-final will take a life of its own.
Absolutely, there's a real sense of occasion around Cork City about this. It's fantastic. It's been a while, Johnny. What would it mean for Cork Constitution to get back to an AIL final?
I think it's huge. Like, this is why the players are playing the game, and like, we coach all year. It's not just to take part either. Like, you're going up the road, you're getting to the Aviva. Like, don't make any mistakes. Like, you're here to win things, you know. So it's a huge occasion. It's a massive semi-final. But again, like you're talking about Clontarf, we're here every year. They're in a semi-final every year. They're a massive club, good system. So there's no foregone conclusions. But to get up the road next Sunday would be huge for us.
Absolutely. Without giving too much away, Johnny, what are the key things that are going to make that happen for you? What have you got to get right today to win this?
Like, it's a semi-final, it's knockout, so you have to stay away from your goal, don't you? You have to get into the other half fairly efficiently, but also, and discipline helps with that. You know, the referee and touch judges this week, it's different in the AIL, that they're actually mic'd up, so there's going to be a lot going on there. So discipline is huge. And then you look at Clontarf, if you give them entries, you know, they've got a massive pack. They're very strong in their pack, but they're strong all over the pitch. You know, if you respect the pack too much, all of a sudden their backs go, you know. So they've got plenty there too, plenty of pace on the wing. So I think it's a battle up front, it's a battle on the physicality, but also just discipline entries is huge.
Absolutely, it's going to be a foregone conclusion that the 2 packs are going to go at it, but it's a beautiful day. Both sides have played some good rugby. You've scored some gorgeous tries this year, Johnny. Are we going to see some nice rugby played today?
That's the plan. That's the plan. You get fast ball, you move the ball, so that is the plan. But you have to get parity or go above that up front first. And you know, if we can get that, and if I think it's just going to be an occasion. People are coming out here to watch rugby. They're going to get it.
Absolutely, Johnny. Best luck for today.
Thanks very much.
You're very welcome to Temple Hill for this Energia All-Ireland League Division 1A semi-final. You're in the company this afternoon of Dara Frawley, Dan Mooney and Ger Burke. Conditions just about perfect. And Burkey, if we come to you first, we've just heard from both head coaches. We're in for an absolute cracker today.
Absolutely. I have to say, I found both of the warm-ups very, very interesting. Conran went during their attack shape, really looking to move the ball, staying flat, asking questions, I suppose decision-making questions on the defence and attack line. Clontarf, some really nice power plays, but when it gets to a touchline, you're looking at a pod of 3 players of Soroka, Ben Griffin and Fionn Gilbert, and I tell you one thing, that's going to take some stopping. It's going to be a different approach. It's going to be a lot flatter and more direct from Tarf at times, and you know, it's an element, you might know what's coming, but to stop it is a very different animal. Tarf really went physical in their D set as well. I think particularly after what happened earlier in the season when they were here, I think the physicality is going to be a major priority for both teams.
Indeed. Dan Mooney, how important today is getting the emotional pitch right night and not actually playing the occasion?
I mean, I think you have to harness that occasion a little bit to a certain extent. They're just going to have to use the energy. What they don't want is to go too far into that. Someone lose their temper, somebody do something, kind of overshoot the mark, or let the emotion become too much for them. You have to harness it. You have to use it. You have to allow it to give you energy and to use that to spur you on into great things. Because this is an 80-minute game. And across those 80 minutes, it's going to be very attritional. The work rate is going to be absolutely phenomenal through the roof from both teams. And you want to make sure that you don't empty the tank in 40 minutes and have nothing in the second half. The team that manages that the best, the team that manages the emotion and the energy output across 80 minutes is likely to be the winning team.
The Cork Constitution team lines out as follows. Their first semi-final since 2019. They went all the way in that season, beating Clontarf in the final in the Aviva Stadium. Constitution line out as follows. At fullback, Rob Hederman is accompanied by Dan Hurley and Matthew Bowen in the back three. Harry O'Riordan and Niall Keneally make the centre partnership. James Taylor and Adam Maher, the halfbacks. Taylor back after a lengthy absence, hitting some of his finest form. Dave Hyland captains the side from number 8. Ronan O'Sullivan at 7 and Jack Keller at 6. John Ford and Sean Duffy in the engine room. Luke Masters, Billy Scannell and Ali Healy make up the front row. The replacements are from Danny Sheehan, Brendan Quinlan, Charlie Connolly, Owen Quilter, Matisse Lamarck Darazat, Camille Novak, Louis Kahn and Rob German. Joe Burke, there is a nice mixture of blend of youth and experience in that team, talk us through some of those players and some of the battles we're going to see today.
Oh, come here. Look, you talk about youth and experience. I think the Cork Con front row is one that's coming of age. I've been very, very impressive this season. They've scrummaged brilliantly well. But let's be honest, they're up against probably the most experienced and in many views, I'd say probably the best front row today. Ben Griffin, Dill Donlan, Adam Soroka. There's a wealth of strength, power, grit and experience there. But I have to say, Alessandro Heaney, Billy Scannell and Luke Masters, I've been utterly impressed with them. So it's going to be a fascinating battle. We talk about experience versus youth.
The Clontarf team lines out as follows. Clontarf, as we said, beaten in last year's final by Terranure, are playing away in this season's semi-final, having beaten Young Munsters 13 points to 12 on the same day, the Castle Avenue last season. Noah Sheridan, Eidsall Aranzana King and Peter Marr, the back three. Tyke Bird and veteran Matt Darcy in the centre. Conor Kelly and Ben Murphy make up the half-backs. JJ O'D, Tony Ryan and Ruan Byron the back row for the Castle Avenue side. Josh Murphy and Fionn Gilbert, a formidable engine room for the Castle Avenue side, and Ben Griffin, Dylan Donlan and Ivan Soroka make up the front row. The bench for Clontarf this afternoon: Barry Gray, Alexander Usinoff, Declan Adamson, Jack Murphy, Louis O'Reilly, Mark O'Sullivan, James Peters and Darragh Bolger. Dan Mooney, Ger Burke spoke about youth and experience. There's very much similar with Clontarf, but there is power and quality all over this squad.
I mean, that front five will frighten anyone. That front row in particular is just absolutely phenomenal. Looking at Soroka and Griffin either side of Dylan Donlan, 20 tries already this season. There's a reason he's got 20 tries. That set piece that they have is absolutely phenomenal. The power they have, they really are quite irresistible when they get going. Looking at that front row, and then of course into the second row as well, they really just have it absolutely everywhere in this team, and that power is their main weapon. It's their go-to, and it's so difficult to defend against it and to try to play around it.
Berkey, as Dan said there, if we speak about the battles we're going to see today, the battle up front is going to be unbelievable, but in terms of the temperatures, it is a little bit warmer than it has been all season in the Energia All-Ireland League. But what kind of battles can we expect today?
It's a beautiful occasion. This is fantastic, lads. This is what every AIL fan wants to be a part of. Look at this, it's superb. Dave Hyland leading side out. I think applicably for me, Dave Hyland is one of the best number 8s in the country. Fantastic young player, and he's up against probably the form number 8 in the country over the past 10 years, and Tony Ryan. Probably old bull versus young bull. Two leave-outs of the Irish clubs that no one in the country could believe. But I think that battle is going to be fascinating. Two men, talisman for their sides. They lead by action, and the type of guys you follow to war. For me, the other one, I suppose, we were deprived of it in 2019 when Niall Keneally got an injury in the warm-up in the final. Matt Darcy and Niall Keneally, two of the best players to ever put on a pair of boots in the All-Ireland League in the centre, and this could be the last time we see them go toe-to-toe.
Yeah, I'm excited about Darcy. I mean, you're just looking at the players, the physical size, and this Tarf team is absolutely massive. And then towering, just as tall as any of the forwards, is Darcy, that 12. And it's just the power that he has, the pace that he has. That's a battle that I'm very, very excited to watch as this game goes forward.
The scene is set here in Temple Hill for this Division 1A Energia All-Ireland League semi-final as we observe a moment's silence. The moment's silence impeccably observed here in Temple Hill. It doesn't come much bigger than this. Ger Burke, Division 1A All-Ireland League semi-final. The dreaded prediction, who are you having?
Gun to my head. Cork Con slightly pending that they can contain the Tarf scrum. Tarf scrum gets on top. Tarf take the win, the spoils back up the road.
I'm going to go other way. I just think the size difference, you saw the two teams lining up. I think that the Clontarf have a bit of an edge physically. The size is there, that power is there, and that's the thing that they lean into. I think Tarf are going to shade this one.
You spoke about emotional energy, Dan, before the game. 20 minutes into an All-Ireland League final last year, there was no one in the country thought Tarf weren't going to go back-to-back winners, and someone managed to take a bit of a beating in the end. They're here to right a wrong, to get back to the Aviva, to do the business, and they look like in a really, really good frame of mind, should I say, in the place. They're mentally in the warm-up. I think they're going to set the tone physically, and can't match it. And how long will it take for that to happen?
Well, if anyone who's watching is as excited as Ger Burke, Dara Frawley and Dan Mooney are, we're in for a real treat this afternoon, and we're underway in Temple Hill. This Division 1A Energia All-Ireland League semi-final. Ball is taken by captain Dave Hoyland, and it's a big collision with tight head Ben Griffin. Expect to see plenty of those this afternoon. Adam Maher at 9 this afternoon, but Josh Murphy, Fionn Gilbert and pretty much the whole Clontarf pack making themselves known early doors here in Cork.
I think they're not trying to hide anything. They're going to contest every physical aspect of this game. First ruck of the game, they emptied everyone in there to put pressure on it. Adam
Maher kicks high and it's fielded by his namesake Peter Maher on the left wing for Clontarf. Ball in hands of Murphy, goes to Josh Murphy with Connacht last season, finishing his medical exams, and you can hear the home Cork Con contingent very happy with that. A clear out past the ruck, but Dan Mooney, we've seen a real physical start to this game.
Right, I mean, this is what we were talking about when you want to, don't let that energy, don't let the excitement of the occasion go to your head, and that's literally what's happened. We've seen Tarf absolutely piling into those rucks. They're going to make it physical, but then they have to be careful you don't cross that line, concede penalties, concede territory, because that was a really good energetic start from Tarf without the ball, and then to blow a few yards because somebody just wasn't thinking.
Taylor's right boot finds a touch down on this right hand side about 15 metres outside, and Berkey, the set piece battle today is going to be absolutely unbelievable. Two exceptional lineouts, and two teams, to be honest, when their lineout isn't functioning well because it's so rare, they've struggled to find their flow. This will be a fascinating battle. Lineout expertise in a plenty on both sides here. Scannell goes towards the front in Highland, the down and pop. Maher out to Taylor to Keneally, seasoned veteran. Keneally gets outside Tony Ryan, it's a great carry there again. Keneally finding Conor Kelly on a soft shoulder and moves in the outside. Taylor again goes out the back. Lovely little carry there by Harry O'Riordan. Couldn't blame him for not wearing a scrum cap there. And Adam Maher is taken out there. Referee Stuart Gaffigan taking no nonsense early, and Con with 2 penalties on the board in the opening 2 minutes.
There's a clear tactic from Clontarf that they're going after the Cork Con breakdown. the first one they were unlucky. I suppose can't probably not expect that deep in their 22. But same again there. The first time there was any remnants of a slow ruck, they're going to pile bodies in. Tony Ryan coming through there, and according to the referee, illegally so. But Con are going to have to adapt to this.
Tony Ryan, he's trying to make up for something there because Keneally's absolutely smashed him on the carry, and Tony Ryan has just been blown out of the way, and he's in a hurry to make amends for that. And again, we talked about it before the game, it's that emotional energy and how you use that. Tony Ryan, not happy to be blown out of the way, has come back in too hard and too heavy and from the wrong side.
Peculiar line-out D there, Foley, from Tarf, allowing Con to take the front. I'm not sure I'd be going with that ploy for the entire game.
Very interesting to see on that front as well. With Highland, you saw the over-exuberance almost to get out there, and as Dan rightly alluded to, you don't want to chase mistakes. Tony Ryan slipping off a right shoulder of Keneally on that tackle and chasing that ruck again, but Andy Wood certainly won't be happy with 2 penalties in 2 minutes, and Taylor now has the opportunity to take the lead in this Energia All-Ireland League semi-final. Taylor, right foot, it doesn't strike it as well, but that doesn't matter. It's straight and true. Might be uncanny, but Cork Constitution take the lead in this Division 1 Energia All-Ireland League semi-final, 3 points to 0. And Dan Mooney were delicately poised here.
Yeah, no, this is the start you wanted. This is exactly the start we wanted in the game of rugby. We didn't want this to be too cat and mouse. We didn't want it to turn into a chess game very early on. We wanted the big collisions. We wanted fellas carrying. We wanted to see points on the board early, make Tarf have to play this game, have to come after Con. And of course, we're already seeing that 10 battle. It's going to be so interesting. Connor Kelly and Taylor. It's just unbelievable. It's going to have it a whole lot.
Kelly left-footed again, finds lovely space. Maher tries to put pressure on, and it's won back by Fionn Gilbert. Has been excellent all season. The big tight head lock made the Irish clubs who were victorious in Portugal. JJOD steps off the left-hand foot outside the grasps of John Ford. Con looking to go wide here, and Matt Darcy, a household name in the Energia All-Ireland League. Murphy again finds Kelly. Kelly goes out the back. Lovely little step by Noah Sheridan. So versatile is the 15 in those channels, and Murphy again. Con going. Ben Griffin, little show and go there from the big man on the inside. Con soaked defence here, a little bit under pressure. Murphy again finds Dylan Donlan. Over 43 tries in 2 Energia All-Ireland League seasons for Donald, a phenomenal record as Tarf nestle into the 22 of Cork Con, and it's Soroka, the loose head, with a carry.
That's relentless.
A big hit. Ruin Byron, the former Trinity man, there again. Carries JJOD. Con, when they get into the 22, I'm sure Ger Burke is aching to tell us about it, but they like to go power-wise, but Con seem to have turned the ball over there legally, and they're on the move here, and Con like to play from deep themselves, mixing between backs and forwards. Ford showing good hands. Maher trying to calm it down a little bit there as James Taylor calls his forwards in. You'd imagine Con will try and exit from here. Wind just about blustery in on the left hand side.
Interesting attack sequence from Clontarf. Every time they come off 9 or 10, they have 2 if not 3 options coming hard to line, creating a minimum of 1v1s, getting them over the gain line time and time again. Then they get into the 22 and decide to change tactic, where they go to that diamond shape, hand in the middle, allowing Con double collisions. 1v1s, they're going to get over the gain line. If you allow Con to make
Darcy with a lovely pass there on the outside to Tyke Bird, who's played a lot of rugby at 15. A lovely lob out to Maher again, but he doesn't quite hold on to it. And the sharp intake of breath from the Cork Constitution fans behind us, but referee Gaffigan says it's a knock on. Ger Burke has spoken about Con's variance in attack there, but we've seen immediately once Clontarf are on one side of the pitch, then Matt Darcy sees the space and is not afraid to throw a risky pass.
No, the defence was there. I was looking at him shaping for the pass and thinking, no, you can't. There's a player running up that's going to be picked off. But he threw it well, he threw it accurately, and I think Tarf were a little unlucky not to make more yards out of that and to turn over possession.
Absolutely. To be honest, Dan Hurley, the right winger, shoots up there. You can't give a picture like that to Darcy when he's got time on the ball. He's going to make that read too easily. Con just needed to be patient, go soft and work him towards a touchline in that instance.
First scrum of the game this afternoon. The front rows, Ger Burke alluded to it. Just a reminder that this is one of 10 promotion relegation playoff places in the Energia All-Ireland League this afternoon. Make sure to download the AnyScore fan app. Bruff have taken a 3 points to 0 lead in Galway. A huge day in the Energia All-Ireland League. It's an absolute privilege to be here in Temple Hill, and surprise, surprise, there is an exchange of pleasantries between Dylan Donlan and Billy Scannell.
They've been talking about this all week, lads. I've been looking forward to this all week. The first scrum, this should be tasty.
Ger Burke was outside the gates of Temple Hill at 10 o'clock this morning anticipating the first scrum, and here at 2:39 in the afternoon on a beautiful spring day, the ball in the hands of Adam Maher. But referee Gaffigan has been very consistent in his decision making. He said early push. Ben Griffin, the guilty party, and
Soroka.
Dave Hyland has a conversation, and Con say they're going to go again. And Berkey, this is a small bit of a flex here early.
It's intelligent from him. He can't allow Soroka to dictate how he's going to set up and bind, and if he's not happy with it, he's standing up, and the referee rewarded him that time. Soroka likes to get nice and tight, not allow Masters to get a hit. A little bit of chest to start the game off.
Maher again has the ball. Taylor surveying his outside, has got Daniel Hurley on his right shoulder, Niall Keneally tight to his left, and referee Gaffigan says Soroka the guilty party, and Masters says 1-0.
A little bit of a push from Masters. That's a huge scrum for him. I have to say, looking at him here, Masters, he looks incredibly lean, incredibly strong. He's been one of the most improved props, I think, in the All-Ireland League over the last couple of years, playing exceptional rugby, and I think that's a correct call.
Dan Mooney, that's 3 penalties to 0 in favour of Cork Con. Andy Woodencole won't be happy with that.
No, absolutely not. You can't afford it. No, I don't think Clontarf are going to panic. They're seasoned. They know one of these teams is always up at the top of the table. They're there for a reason. They win games. They know how to win games. They won't want to have conceded those penalties, but they're still very much in command. They know what they have to do.
Great take by Kelleher in the line out. A nice little 2-lob there. Taylor finds Keneally in midfield. Goes out the back. It's a lovely little carry there by Hurley again. Con not quite getting yards, but getting width. Look to stretch this Con defence. Matty Bowen, prolific try scorer, former UCC man, has been brilliant all season. Gets a couple of yards. Taylor again. Ronald O'Sullivan running a little spot line there. Soroka did very well not to take him, and it's a good carrying, intricate play by Sean Duffy. Ford and Duffy, the 2 second rows, prolific in this opening.
That's
9
great
or so
heads up
minutes.
rugby out of Cork Con.
Maher, spotline from Highland again. Connor on the move here, the outside centre, Harry O'Riordan. Tarf seem to have numbers on his side as Taylor swings the ball out to Billy Scannell, the pace man on the wing, right foot. Well tackled by both Ryan and Maher again, and Con building the phases as Maher finds Captain Highland. Con really attacking the breakdown of the Maher. Little show and go as Murphy gets to grips with him there, and Con inside the 22, slowly but surely going forward here. Referee Gaffigan, Tony Ryan again, absolutely blitzed Daniel Hurley there. Said it was a slap down. We'd like to see that again on the replay if we can get that, but it's given Taylor another opportunity potentially for 3, but he has absolutely no doubts about where he's going here, and he's going straight to the corner.
Yeah, look, I think it's a crazy decision. Just 3 points on offer. This is a cup semi-final.
I disagree. I love that decision.
I'm going to get a tattoo on myself. Check your 3. Just 3 points on offer. This is a semi-final of a Division 1A All-Ireland
I
League.
agree. Can't put their tails up though, Dan. I have to say, what an exceptional sequence of attack that was.
Scannell goes towards Highland at the front. It's an early set of them all here, and the ball is at the base with Scannell again. Con doing very well to try and stall that maul, and they've done it. And for the first time this afternoon, you can hear the Clontarf supporters to our left and right here. And Berkey, you said it in the first 5 minutes, taking that option with Highland at the front in the line-out. When you go to 2 on that line-out to get set, you do really set yourself up on that Moldee, and Tarf took full advantage there.
Absolutely. Look, I think that's been spoken about since they were here a couple of months ago, and to be honest, the compact took the edge, and Clontarf don't take that kindly. You don't do that twice to Clontarf in the season, and I think that's a real psychological win for the Clontarf pack there. Follow it up now with a scrum. This is really interesting.
Yeah, I think also, I mean, referees, I don't want to accuse referees of things, this is very generally speaking, but decisions tend to even out over the course of a game. Cork Con have had 4 penalties now inside of 10 minutes in this game, and what they've got for it is 3 points on the board. As those decisions even out over the course of the game, what Tarf will take out of 4 penalties is probably going to be more than 3 points.
Absolutely. Look, you end up 5 metres from your opponent's line, then you can't afford to miss too many of those opportunities in All-Ireland semi-final. We'll see later on in the game how critical that will become.
You'd hardly guess that the lads were raised on 90s rugby in Limerick by young Munsters taking 3 points, but for now in the 22 we haven't seen any real steady consistency scrum time.
There's been 4 scrums. We've had a reset, a free kick, a penalty, and now another reset, so we haven't seen the 2 packs have a go yet.
Yeah, you can see, I mean, you're looking at Josh Murphy there. He's like, he wants this. He is so hungry for this. The enthusiasm for him to get stuck into this, because both of these packs will have been preparing for this all week long, and so far they haven't had a chance to take it out on each other in the way they would have been expecting.
Soroka and Griffin, a referee Gaffigan, and it's the right call there. It seems, Berkey, as if Soroka, Donald And Griffin, through Murphy and Gilbert, are very, very hungry on that hit and too early there.
Yeah, look, he's saying that it was he boring in. I suppose the cue on that is that if your backside comes out as a loose hit, you're going to be penalised. He won the hit, he won the height, he had Luke Masters in trouble, and he was too eager. Talking about that emotional energy down at the start, I think Tarf have fallen on the wrong side of that. They've given away a lot of penalties like that. They were in control of that scrum. They've been in control of a couple of things there. They've been too eager, I suppose, to inflict their physical dominance.
And we've seen a couple of just individual reactions from players over the course of it. Byron was absolutely raging with a decision against him. You see him, his arms, his body language suggests a fellow who's frustrated and annoyed. That energy that they have, and some of those decisions are just being done wrong.
Taylor rips in. We're going to see something uncanny here. Niall Keneally at the front of the line-out. They go towards the middle, towards the back of the line-out. It's a lovely little peel there. On the outside, Harry O'Riordan, well marshalled by that Tarf defence. They did quite well.
That was something new that they had planned for today.
Good carry around the corner here again, and it's Masters on the inside. Connor very, very close. Gaffigan has his hands out here. You'd imagine he could be going to the pocket here with the ill discipline from Tarf. Keneally loitering on the right hand side, so good in these close in positions. JJOD gets underneath Dave Hoyland. That's going to be held up, but we're going to come back, and I'd be very interested to see if Gaffigan, referee Stuart Gaffigan, is going to have a chat here with Clontarf, as the rate of penalties certainly cannot keep up for the Castle Avenue side.
Yeah, and he's already had a chat with Dylan Dunn, and he's gone and spoken to him. And
Scannell is going to go here. Con in the mood to try and go early. And his front row union hit the ground early, and Con going in very, very close. Tony Ryan has gotten underneath him, as Stuart Gaffigan says it's not good enough for Tarf, and it's the first try of the afternoon. Quick thinking from Cork Constitution. We await to see the body that comes up with the ball. It is John Ford who's got the first try of the afternoon. And Gerard Burke, Dan Mooney speaks about needing to take 3 points there. Con will be absolutely delighted with the start here, albeit Tarf have given them very easy field position with penalties.
Yeah, thankfully Dan doesn't have much say on the Con tactics. What was interesting about that, though, Dan, there was no discussion at penalty time, and there was no discussion there. Billy Scannell got the ball in his hand. There was no decision. It was they knew what they were doing. So this has been discussed beforehand. The shot earlier was from further out outside the 22. I think they're kind of really laid their marker down. If we're in the 22, we're going for scores, because they're going to need to score tries to beat Clontarf.
Yeah, and
Taylor dispatches the conversion to leave it 10 points to nil. Apologies, Dan.
Yeah, no, it speaks of a team really well drilled. They know their business. They know what they're about. They have a game plan. They're going to execute that game plan. They look, as up for the physical battle as they are, they look extremely calm. Yeah. They look really relaxed out on the pitch.
If Tarf can bring in maybe 15% of that coolness, physically they look like they're ready to kill, but they need to bring in some intelligence here and some calmness.
Kelly goes a little bit further this time, falls into the hands of Hoyland, and he knows one way, and that's forward. Murphy gets to grips with Hoyland. Maher has Taylor on the inside, calls in for the artillery to try and give him some blockers. Con, coolness personified in both sides, but Tarf have had a little go there, and JJOD sparked into life. Former old Wesley man has been brilliant for Tarf since joining 2 seasons ago. Soroka had Tony Ryan on the outside, elected not to give it to him, and Murphy again, right-handed, gives it to Byron, who's absolutely levelled by a number of Con defenders there. Murphy again finding Donnellan, and Conor Kelly looks like he'll have a go here. Ben Murphy jumps in on the left-hand side. Good clear out again. Byron. Con defending in numbers at the base of the ruck. Game being played at a frantic pace here as Murphy carries in again. Lovely little step inside by Tyg Bird, as we said, played a lot of rugby at 15. Last number of years is at 13 this afternoon. Fionn Gilbert met by his opposite number, Duffy there.
And I think that's about the 4 chop tackle you've seen from Duffy in this sequence already, Frolls.
Soroka, second row's getting through a lot of work, as pointed out by Ger Burke, as Tony Ryan goes, ably assisted by OD again in those latch carries around the corner. The cries from the Tarf bench to go early and go quick. Gilbert goes in again.
Penalty advantage as well.
Murphy goes outside, and Darcy, lovely little show and go. That was actually a dink forward, and the knock on came in the second instance. And Tarf with some field position here now, you'd imagine.
Take the 3.
Well, we'll see where the mindset is at. It's interesting. It was stalemate carry. Tony Ryan gets over the tackle line, poor roll away, fatigue, penalty. Just getting over that tackle line is so important. Tony Ryan doing what Tony Ryan does.
Yeah, it's a very organised Con's defence, though. They really did look like they knew what they were all about, and phase by phase when to rush up, when to drift. That defence is organised. They're as cool
you can see
as
the players around then, and the individuals go out of the way to make sure they don't give away penalties. I think Ronan will be disappointed with that rolling in towards the ball there.
Dylan Donlan conversing with referee Gaffigan and has told his 10 he wants to take 3 to settle Tarf in, and it's been a decent response from the Castle Avenue side. Won last season's semi-final in Castle Avenue against the Young Munsters, 13 points to 12. Conditions in that game much more difficult than this one, but we are delicately poised here in Castle Avenue. 10 points to 3 after 17 minutes, and Berkey, the pace of this game has been quite something else.
Yeah, it's been superb. I actually didn't think we'd see as many points early doors. I thought it might be more of a stalemate, but no, it's been interesting. Both attacks have fun creaks, in particular when the ball is quick and there's multiple options, when they're not just one-out runners, or when either side know what's coming.
Taylor, lovely kick-off, right-footed, well taken in the air by Murphy, the sun in the eyes of Clontarf, but that didn't matter. The medical marvel, as Murphy trying to get Tony Ryan back to his feet. Ben Griffin hit very, very hard there. Ger Burke has alluded to that Con defence really hammering off 5-6 metres either side of that ruck to try and put the likes of the Conor Kellys under pressure, but he left-footed finds Hederman goes inside to Taylor surveys and says let's go up in the air, sends Hederman to chase again. It's been an intriguing aerial battle thus far, and Kelly is hit hard. Kelly doing well, and Tarf resource that ruck, and Murphy, there's an opportunity to go wide here if Tarf want to go. Matt Darcy having a little look, scanning there. Darcy has the ball in hand, always looks like he's got so much time on the ball, but he's got to grips by Duffy. Unbelievable work rate, and Kelly kicks the ball up in the air. Taylor does well to marshal the backfield. He's got Matty Bowen on his inside, and Bowen does have an electric set of heels in him if he does decide to go, but Tony Ryan hits Bowen. The referee says it's a penalty. He hasn't quite signalled what it is for there, but he's going to have a chat.
Yeah, I think it's a high tackle.
It's
just
a secondary hitter, and it's been a big emphasis on that this year. The secondary tackler, if you come in at force, it's got to be very clearly below the sternum.
Yeah, very well pointed out there, Jerry. We see on the replay they have been very hot on it in the IRFU initiative this season. For a lot of people in the ground who would have seen that, they mightn't have thought that wasn't a high tackle, but the replay clearly shows that was a high tackle.
I think Con's defence again,
Aaron Zana King living dangerously
on the wing. An interesting moment.
Yeah,
something people might look back on tonight. We didn't see it from where we are, whether that was in or out.
I think that's a mistake from the touch judge. Adam Maher's having a chat with him. He's not happy about it.
Have a little look here, Aaron Zanuck. Oh,
I think that's fine. That ball is playable.
It is.
That ball is absolutely playable.
The benefit of us having replays here.
And Joe, you're talking about the emotional energy at Tarf giving away a lot of penalties, but what he also did there is they missed a blatant overlap where they carried direct, and by the time they tried to move it, Con had sorted their numbers out. There was a real opportunity down the side in front of us before that. Lovely
little throw jump by Keller and Connor in midfield here. There's a carry again by Highlander on the corner. Soroka looks to have his hands on that ball there. Slowed it down. JJOD holding his shoulder there, the open side for Tarf. They won't want to lose JJOD, and he seems to be in real trouble as Taylor goes out the back towards Scannell. We saw him on this touchline, and Bowen absolutely hammered there by Murphy. OD is back in the line but looks in some discomfort there. Forwards coach for Tarf, Mick Kearney, may have a dilemma to make earlier on, but OD for the time being continues. Con go out the back through Taylor, and they go out the back again. That shoot defence would have been a feature, but well held on to by Con there. Tarf trying to get width in defence here as it goes towards Taylor. Taylor to his tight end Luke Masters, and Masters carry very well. Tarf didn't quite get there, and Mara throws the ball to forward. Tarf think it was forward, but referee Gaffigan was well placed and says let's play on. Taylor has Keneally outside him, hits him on an unders line, and he goes back to Taylor. Taylor with Hederman, and Taylor gets on the outside, and he's well taken there by Matt Darcy, but Con slowly through Mara get into the 22. Mara's been electric at the base and in open play for Cork Constitution as Taylor finds Keneally, and Tarf, Soroka and Griffin going very, very hard there. Do not underestimate the heat on the pitch out there as Soroka, his body's down. Con again through run on O'Sullivan, and O'Sullivan is going to go. O'Sullivan very close to getting in, and he does. O'Sullivan, beaten in last year's semi-final by Young Munsters by Clontarf, has given Cork Constitution a 15 points to 3 lead with the conversion to come. And Ger Burke, the collisions have really been phenomenal, and Tarf are really feeling it at the moment.
The evolution of Cork Con from last year to this year is like anytime they're attacking an opportunity on quick ball, they've always been decent, and you're seeing that they're making lovely reads and making good decisions. Adam Maher punishing guys when they're not defending Nara, the internal defence right, getting off his way. But when it's been poor and they need to go forward, Jack Keller gave him a go forward ruck out of nothing. Dave Hoyle gave him a go forward ruck out of nothing before that to allow that, and I think that's the evolution. They're able to mix both games now. That's an exceptional sequence of play for Con, and it's a superb score.
Yeah, I mean, I like to talk about the score because I love Ronan O'Sullivan as a player, and that's not just because he's a former cookie. His feet are fantastic. He really can step really well for a big guy. But if you could look at it, I mean, I'd love to be able to show Harry Reardon and Bird the difference between how they've performed defensively.
Yes.
We've seen Reardon cut off attacking options, force Tarf to play a certain way, and meanwhile Bird shoots out of the line and gives space. It's that decision making process. Cons are getting it right at the moment, Tarf are not.
Both sets of packs will be very happy to see the cloud cover some shade here in Temple Hill, as it's 17 points to 3 after 23 minutes. Maher, the star of the show just thus far, right footed, finds Noah Sheridan, and Tarf answered with a penalty after the previous try. They know they need to get back into the game, as O'Sullivan absolutely hammers Sheridan, and JJOD carries Gilbert. He's met by the loosehead Ali Heaney, and Con are in the groove here on both sides of the ball. Kelly to Soroka hammered by Keneally. Defence coach Brian Scott and Billy Holland down to our right for Cork Constitution. Very happy here as Con swarm Dylan Donnellan yet again, but Kelly holds his cool, and JJOD carries. Josh Murphy with that little latch gets some yards, and Kelly again goes out the back to Sheridan. Sheridan looks on his inside, but Con staying alive in that inside shoulder, and Billy Scanlon with a phenomenal turnover and 3 to 4 yards to carry. And Con here with the ball. Maher looking towards his left hand side, uses Keller as the spot. Keneally gets his hands free again, and Con really in the groove here. Tarf tries they might at the breakdown, but so far it's all Con. And as you can see on the scoreboard, leading 17 points to 3. Taylor finds Healy. Healy's got Ronan O'Sullivan and Masters outside him. The 3-on-2s that are normally executed in training, they didn't expect to see their 7 and tied it outside there. But O'Riordan carries on the inside. There's tired bodies outside, and O'Riordan tries to get a half break, and Tony Ryan gets hands on the ball, but is hit hard on the clear out. Matty Bowen venturing in off his wing to be part of the action here again, and Taylor pulling the strings, got Hedeman outside, but it's a lovely flat pass, but it's just knocked on. And that, after 24 minutes or so, Dan Mooney is the first handling ever for Con. They've been irresistible to watch.
Yeah, it's brilliant. It's joyful to watch. They keep looking for options all the time. It's heads up stuff. They see a ball to be played, play the ball. There's support players all the way outside. They're popping up here and there. It's really great rugby to watch.
That's exactly what it is, Dan. It's heads up. People say this term, play a flat in the line, play heads up. That's heads up rugby. Cork Con are reacting to the defensive shape they see in front of them. More importantly, they're reacting to what spaces they see in front of them. Clontarf are coming very hard and very direct, but it's not based on where Con have a hole per se. They've missed a couple of overlaps at times. Cork Con will, if there's a hole at pillar all the way out to the touchline, that's what they're trying to find, and it's exceptional attacking rugby so far. Really enjoyable.
As we get our breath here, JJOD has left the field for the time being. He's been replaced by Declan Adamson. He has been named on the bench as a replacement hooker. It will be interesting to see where he goes, whether Donlan stays in the front row. It looks like he will as the captain, and Adamson will fill in at the back row. We will await to see whether or not that is a permanent change for OD, but he looked to have taken a heavy shot onto his shoulder. But the pace of the game, Dan Mooney, both sides.
Yeah, phenomenal. And I kind of just want to touch on something that Ger said there. We've seen Dylan Donlan make a carry there just a few phases back for Clontarf, and as Ger pointed out, he's brought all of that energy that he has, all of the power that he has. This is a player who knows how to get over the gain line, but he's run straight at a Cork Con defence. It's waiting for him. So there's going to be no change out of that. You're not going to get any joy out of that. Meanwhile, Con, when they're in possession, are finding those gaps.
So in finding soft shoulders at a minimum, Dan, they're looking to play, and Adam Maher's asking a lot of questions of breakdown as well, or around the breakdown, which is causing problems for Tarf.
Murphy, Tarf's scrum, very solid. You'd expect that from the season team, and Matt Darcy finds Kelly on the outside. There's a lovely little pass there to Sheridan. There's a 2-on-1 here on the inside. Murphy running the line. Murphy can go, he's on the way. Murphy's not going to be stopped on the inside, and from absolutely nothing, Clontarf get their first try of the game. Dan Mooney, Ben Murphy, the classic 9 inside line. Darcy makes the inside pass. We'll see in the replay. What a score from Tarf.
I mean, this is what they're capable of. We know that this is what they're capable of. It really looked like there was absolutely no space for them to run into. But it's Darcy again, that playmaker that he is at 12. He takes that ball, lovely little pass, and it's super work. A little tip on, I think.
The disguise from Sheridan on the inside.
Absolutely. So what teams are expecting there is when it comes out the back door, there's one hit and another backdoor option. But what they actually ran there was 2 hit, and they hit the flatter player. Just a lovely little disguise on a play that most teams will be very comfortable defending. I saw him running in their warm-up, kind of just had a bit of a flash in front, and it was a lovely line. And to be honest, once it's breached, it's very, very hard to defend.
Yeah, I mean, also, if you're neutral, this is what you want. Like, this is what we wanted. At 17-3, we want to see this one turn back into a game again. Tarf needed that. They've got that. If they add the extras, this is 7 points again, and I just love this game of rugby.
Ben Murphy, his father Richie, now with Ulster, is in attendance at the game, and Kelly strikes through left-footed on a perfect day for kicking, goes through the posts, and after 27 and a half minutes in this Energia All-Ireland League Division 1A semi-final, Con lead 17 points to 10.
As we know, our first phase rugby, Clontarf are so good. When Clontarf attacked for a sequence and then the ball stayed in play and Con kept the ball alive, the longer that ball in play, Con looked it'll be a lot more comfortable.
All this for a tenner if you're in the ground, free tier and streaming. A joy to be here, as we said.
Fantastic crowd here as well, as must be said. What an occasion. It's great to have it and great to be here.
Taylor sets us off again. Murphy, it's been brilliant on the restarts, and Tarf seem to have found a footing here in Cork and are moseying forward. Fionn Gilbert gets out of that maul. Tarf, Ben Griffin standing as first receiver, waits for Dylan Donnellan to get towards him, but Keller and Con stay true to form and get off that line, and Sean Duffy is going to be in at least double figures with tackles as we head towards the first half. Hederman kicks high into the sky, and Sheridan, who made that electric break against his opposite number, does very well to field, and he tries to get an offload there. Has been very impressive, has Sheridan. The opening this half. Murphy, you could see what he was trying to do there, right footed, but very well read by Matty Bowen. Bowen will have been very, very disappointed not to have been allowed play when that toucher's flag went up, and Billy Scannell, another line break by Scannell. He's got Bowen on the outside. Bowen is going to go on the inside. Conor Kelly is not going to stop him, and Matty Bowen steps inside Maher and he's going to put the ball down and score. And Cork Constitution have 3 tries within the first 30 minutes of this Division 1A semi-final. Ger Burke, Billy Scannell line breaks in the heat. This is scintillating stuff.
Absolutely fantastic rugby, heads up rugby. You've got forwards and backs linking left and right between Adam Maher putting second rows through holes or adapting to offloads. Niall Keneally the same, and then you have Billy Scannell. That's the second or third time he's found himself in open season. I'm not sure whether he meant to hit Dave Hyland or Matty Bowen on the pass, but Matty Bowen got it, thank God. When he stepped the first time, I said that's brave. When he stepped the second time, I said that's really brave. And when Matt Darcy was falling over, I said that was a little lucky in the end, but exceptional rugby from Con.
As Taylor is taking a conversion, Ger, you spoke to Johnny Allen before, and they said that they were going to play, but isn't it so refreshing to see that regardless of the number on your back, 1 to 15, they can all play ball?
It's all 7 from work rate, frauds. Like Josh Murphy's looking for a 50-22 or to pin Con back in their 22, and the pressure that John Ford puts on him, if he doesn't go that extra couple of steps, that kick is executed better, and all of a sudden Cork Con aren't in that situation.
Yeah, I think in the build-up to it, we see Hederman is looking up, and again, I don't want to overuse the phrase this heads-up rugby, but Hederman takes that ball, he looks at who's in front of him, and it's a second row, it's Josh Murphy, he just looks at it and goes, yeah, I can absolutely do this guy on the outside, and of course Cons are giving him options when he carries that ball forward, and that's how they get that break, that's how they recycle that ball.
At the half-hour mark, 24 points to 10 as Captain Hyland gets outside Peter Maher. Con restoring their lead at 14 points to the good with 10 minutes or so to go to half time, and Maher kicks high. Sheridan has a lot of ground to make up. Looks like it was a slight knock on there, but referee Gaffigan says play on, and Niall Keneally gets his right hand free. So abrasive. It's a very good read there defensively from Tarf to try and cut on the outside. Break on the inside for Daniel Hurley there, and it's well turned over by Byron, and Byron finds Gilbert, and Gilbert saw his opposite number Duffy sniffing for an intercept and decides to hold on to the ball. Murphy finds Tyke Bird, gets outside the first would-be tackler, but again it's Duffy. Murphy looks towards Griffin. Griffin is double teamed by both Keller and Ronan O'Sullivan. The ball was out there and says it's a turnover. Ben Griffin slow to get back to his feet. Maher has the ball, goes towards Hyland, ball in 2 hands, looks up finds an inside shoulder. Maher again, Con playing at an unbelievable pace as Taylor finds Duffy. Duffy looks at Keller on the inside but doesn't give it to him. It seems like there's more than one option at every single opportunity that Con have the ball. Tarf just about slow it down legally, says referee Gaffigan, as Maher finds Taylor again. Taylor hits the front door option and the try score run on O'Sullivan, tackled by Tony Ryan. Maher again goes to Taylor. Hyland says dinking in behind. He does that, and Scannell again finds on the wing. He's got it in his inside to Hurley. Hurley finds Taylor. Taylor is brought down by Murphy again. The pace of this game is absolutely unbelievable. An incredible line there by Harry O'Riordan, but referee Gaffigan says that Tarf were over the ball there, and there's a lot of hands on hips and shoulders, but that attack, and in particular a man that we haven't really addressed, Dan Mooney, is Billy Scannell. He is everywhere in the pitch, making line breaks, getting try assists. It's wonderful to watch.
I think there's a number's fallen off the back of his jersey, because there should be 12, it could be 14. He's popping up absolutely everywhere.
You spoke a moment ago, Dan, about Dylan Donlan, one of the best players that we've seen the All-Ireland League. How many offloads or passes Dylan Donlan thrown, whereas Billy Scannell has thrown how many passes and offloads so far in this game? Can's desire to keep the ball in play and keep it live and to keep asking different questions. You've got a team who want to strangle you and want to win a brawl. If they don't know what's coming, it's very hard for them to get into the game. And Con are doing putting on a masterclass at the moment, keeping them guessing in D.
We see on the replay here wonderful interplay by Con, and as Billy Scannell gets some attention.
I think Ben Griffin was appealing. I think someone's going to be having a chat with the referee. Ben Griffin felt he was hit in the head in one of his carries early on, as Cork Con turned that ball over. So I think Gaffigan is probably going to be under a little bit of pressure from the Tarf pack going forward now, because they'll feel aggrieved that they didn't get a call there with her.
But if to go the other way, like from Brian Scott's point of view, defence coach of Cork Con, he's talking about opportunities to get a double shot in. You know what's coming off a touchline, and in fairness to Con, they haven't wilted yet. They're relishing this physical challenge so far.
It has been exactly that. The physicality in the opening 33 and a half minutes.
Is this the first Clontarf line-out?
Has been a sight to behold. It is the first Clontarf line-out. Something that
Wow.
has indeed been a plan from Con to take as much set piece away from them. Con 100% in the line-out thus far. Tony Ryan at the front, Ruan Byron in behind. Sean Gilbert, who's run the line-out very well all season. Billy Holland giving Dylan Donlan some words of wisdom there on the right hand side. But Con's defence with Duffy at the tail, Ford in front, Jack Keller and Dave Hyland at the front. You'd imagine Tony Ryan might take in this ball, and they go just there. Referee, and Dylan Donlan goes crooked there, and it did look just that. And Berkey, as we said, Tar's first line out of the game. They usually physically impose themselves, but at set piece Con are definitely in the ascendancy.
A bit of self-inflicted pressure there that led to that turnover, to be honest, from Tarf. That was unnecessary. That could have been a lot tidier. What I will say is that to watch Dave Hyland stay on the ground, having no intention to go in the air against Tony Ryan, who a guy you think he'd fancy his chances in the air. Dave Hyland, exceptional defender, just goes to show the respect Con have of that Clontarf maul.
Yeah.
First and foremost, it's about them not being put on the back foot there.
JJOD has returned to the fray at open side for Declan Adamson, so that is one of 12 rolling substitutions. JJOD, Tarf will be delighted to have him back in their pack as Con look to have a go there at this Clontarf scrum, but referee Gaffigan tells Maher to use it, and Taylor on the inside. It's an unbelievable line there by Daniel Hurley. Daniel Hurley gets an easy 10 metres. Conor Kelly seems to have gone through, but Maher says the ball was taken. Darcy so calm under pressure. Maher right footed just absolutely leathers that ball downfield. It will find grass as the man who made the line break, Daniel Hurley, goes towards Hederman, right footed. Hederman, Con very visibly not playing anything in their own half, and it's well taken in the air by Sheridan. A wonderful take there, shielded by his former captain Matt Darcy. Referee says it was not back. Tarf under a little bit of pressure here as Conor Kelly tries to get over the head. Where's that one going to bounce? It's a wonderful kick, but it stays up in the air, and Hurley has the ball, surveys what's in front of him and says he's going to have a little run. He's absolutely hammered by Byron and Donlan, but Con resorts to ruck. Billy Scannell goes in. Griffin tries to counter. Go towards Duffy again. Phenomenal work rate from the big man in the blue scrum cap. Maher calls in the artillery. He's going to look for a right footed box kick here, and Maher, he's not. It shows what we know as Taylor hits the front, and it's a wonderful offload again there by Ford to Maher, and Maher's got time here to make a decision. Taylor, OD just kind of nipped on the shoulder as the outside centre O'Riordan, and this is an absolute mile a minute here in Temple Hill. Counter ruck seems to be good from Tarf, and Gaffigan says it's okay. The man with the whistle has been very consistent, has pinged Tarf there on a couple of occasions. The coach Brian Scott on the right hand side telling a number of players to drop there. Con only have one in the backfield as they hammer the breakdown, but Murphy goes back towards Kelly, carried back in, so this will stay inside. Infield is Hederman, and there's a lot of tired bodies chasing there as he juggles the ball. You cannot take your eyes off this. Hederman goes, and Matty Bowen takes a lovely little line, finds Hederman again. Hederman goes on the outside, finds Duffy, but the ball just about goes. It stays in play as Tony Ryan has it. I think some forwards and backs will try and look for a break, but Darcy says let's play, and he's got it on the outside, and Tarp looks like they could go. It's a foot race, and Keller is not going to catch Sheridan, and much like 15 minutes ago from that set piece where Tarp looked like they were in trouble, they are right back in this game, Dan Mooney.
And Darcy at the heart of it again. He's made that break, he sizes up his man, he fixes him. It's basic stuff, but as he does it so well. And the offload outside, and there's acres to play into. This is the disadvantage of keeping that ball alive as much as Cork can have, is that you end up just a little bit fractured, a little bit all over the place defensively.
Yeah, but let's be clear, I think that's, Cork Con, I hope the instruction at half time isn't to tighten things up, because they're playing exceptional rugby. I back every decision they made there. It was a dropped ball, it was a right pass from Hederman. It's a single mistake. Unfortunately, this is what happened when they played here not so long ago in the second round of the league. Clontarf just capitalised on any mistake Con made and gave themselves a lifeline, found themselves in the lead very close to the end. Like, we're talking 24-15 conversion to come, when clearly Cork have been by far the better side, but Clontarf keeping themselves alive. They're just so good at that.
And that's it. Like, there's definitely, of the two teams playing, Cork Con have played way better rugby. They've been much more consistent. They've been much more adventurous. They've made all of the right decisions, and somehow Tarf are still in this game.
Conor Kelly slots the conversion to bring the score back to 24 points to 17. Noah Sheridan has been absolutely electric at 15, both from a safety point of view on the ball and with the ball in hand, an absolute joy to watch. But both teams here to play. I think it's fair to say after 38 or so minutes, everybody who's played in has got value for money.
Fantastic. I'm looking there at JT or James Taylor. He's blowing, and he's right, because he's playing an exceptional game. I got a text this morning. This is why James Taylor signed for Con. Absolutely, and he's relishing it. I think you have to say himself and Adam Maher, two halfbacks that really, really complement each other.
Indeed, they do. Matt Darcy, seasoned veteran with Clontarf, gets some attention, and he goes back in. Some more air in the lungs for both sides as Taylor sends it towards Murphy again, and for the third time in a row Murphy is lifted and Tarf can set up a maul. Matt Darcy standing in that first receiver position, calling in his blindside Ruin Byron, but they go back towards Kelly, carried back in, and Kelly finds Hederman, challenges him to play it out. Hederman steals some yards, was going to kick there. JJOD gets to grips with him, and Tarf have turned over the ball here, and for the first time Con have played, and Fionn Gilbert goes forward there. Niall Keneally slips off the tackle, but Ronan O'Sullivan, the perfect picture of that turnover there, and O'Sullivan gets straight in over the ball, and anything Tarf can do, Ronan O'Sullivan at breakdown says he can do better. Sure.
The big difference, like, Fionn Gilbert is one of the best seconders in the country, and he adds to scrum and all, but again, his reluctance, and a lot of the Clontarf forwards' reluctance to throw that pass time and time again versus the Cork Con, regardless of the number on your back the right decision, and at the moment that's the difference between the two sides.
I think you look at Ronan O'Sullivan, and what you lack in size, and this is kind of one of the battles that we've got here. He's not a gigantic man, he's a small mobile back row forward, but he's playing great rugby. He's making smart decisions, and because he's making smart decisions, he knows when to pass, he knows when to carry, and he gets on that ball and turns that over.
Billy Scannell, Con going on a split, go towards Highland. Lovely little flight there from Scannell again, but Tarf getting to grips with that maul. Fionn Gilbert has got Soroka and Dylan Donnell outside. Daniel Hurley sets up with Keneally. Niall Keneally takes a carry again, and Conor Kelly and Donnellan go very hard at him. Dylan Donnellan feeling the effects of that on the shoulder. Calls from the Con faithful to our right that looked high. Matt Darcy asking for a maul. To be an official. As Dave Hyland carries very well there.
Excellent carry.
Tarf will be reasonably happy as Maher is turned over by JJOD.
That's a tired decision.
It's a little intercept.
Referee Gaffigan says it's the loosehead Ali Healy with an unbelievable turnover, but Ger Burke, there is an awful lot of fatigue creeping into these decisions.
The decisions are becoming a little bit more 50-50 now that fatigue is to them. But for me, I have to think this is can't go out and outscore them and outplay them. I hope at half time they don't decide to go into their box. A very interesting tactic there. So Clontarf are basically giving Con the front of the line and going, all right, we'll take it there and we'll stop you with maul. And what they're hoping to do is stop that maul with as little defenders as possible. So that they have extra men outside. They probably added in the one that they didn't need to there, and then because of that it was slow Adam Maher forcing.
It has been intriguing as we head into the 42nd minute of this incredibly absorbing Energia All-Ireland League Division 1A semi-final. James Taylor, right-footed. Perfect conditions. It's been excellent off the tee this afternoon. Taylor, right-footed, strikes very well, strikes true, and that goes straight through the posts. And at half-time in this Energia All-Ireland League Division 1A semi-final, Cork Constitution lead 27 points to 17. Dan Mooney, what a half of rugby.
Yeah, and I mean, overall, you'd have to say Cork Con are probably a 10-point better side in the 40 minutes. So to get that extra 3 right at the end was important for them, I think, because, as we pointed out earlier on, Clontarf have not been at their best in this game. Cork Con have not allowed them to be at their best in this game, but some of their decision making has not been great over the opening 40 minutes in this, and then still somehow they're in the game. They're at 7 points. They can tie this one up with a converted try. So for Cork Con to get that 3 right at the end of the half, I think was important for Cons.
Berkey, you spoke about Con, you didn't want them to go into their shells. We'd seen very much in the game that was 27-26 and 30-26 that this can go to the wire. The pace of the game is something that surely can't keep up in the second half.
Why not? First and foremost now, right, which of the three of us is going for the burgers?
I'm on the way.
No onions on mine then, right? I agreed, Farley. It has been absolutely manic, and as I said, Con look tired because they're trying to outplay Clontarf, and that's how you beat them. You don't want to get into an arm wrestle with Clontarf. Cork Con from 1 to 15 are asking questions of Tarf, not just how physical can you be. Clontarf at the moment are asking how physical can Cork Con be, and Cork Con have matched them so far. Now you have to imagine those collisions are going to take their toll because Clontarf have considerable size difference, but at the moment Ronan O'Sullivan, these boys, they're matching them pound for pound in terms of dog and fight and everything you want in it, but they're coming up trumps with much more football and making much better decisions with ball in hand.
As we go around the grounds in Division 1B in the promotion relegation playoff semi-finals, which considers Shannon, and in Division 1A at half time, Old Belvedere lead 20 points to 8 against Shannon on the back pitch in Thomond Park. Old Wesley, who finished second in the league, are 19 points to 14 down against Garryowen in Energia Park this afternoon. Sligo lead 5 points to 3 against the UL Bohemians in Annacotty. Queen's University are 24 points to 5 up against Banbridge in Dublin. In the Division 2B promotion relegation playoff, Dolphin are losing 20 points to 14 against Enniscorthy in Virgin Media Park, and it's Wanderers who take the lead against Corinthians 14 points to 7 in Corinthian Park. In Division 2C, Galwegians beaten in last year's semi-final by Bruff. So far it's good news for them, 16 points to 10 over Bruff in Crowley Park. And definitely there is no shortage of drama this afternoon in Temple Hill, and nor from those results or those live updates we've just heard from.
Yeah, I mean, I'd have backed the exact opposite to be the final scores in that Division 1B playoff matches. I would have expected Shannon to take care of business at home against Belvedere. I would have expected them to do it comfortably, actually, and I would have thought that Wesley would put pay to Garryowen, but it's actually the other way around in both of those games. Belvedere up and Garryowen but winning. So yeah, and listen, it was mentioned on the podcast during the week, and it's worth coming back to it. There's always going to be a surprise. None of these 10 matches being played over the course of today in all 10 of them. They're not all going to go according to plan. There will be upsets, there will be surprises, and it's on the teams over 80 minutes. Your life is in your hands, your fate is in your hand for next season. You got to do what you got to deliver, and somebody is going to do that.
Let's move the focus back to today, Berkey. Let's speak about, you mentioned about Tarf with their first line out of the game 38 minutes in. It's been a case of Con executing a plan close to perfection for Johnny Holland, Billy Holland and Brian Scott thus far.
Absolutely. I think it's pretty obvious every time Hederman gets the ball at 15, his first instinct is how many metres can I sprint back and to eat up. When he's kicking, he's putting the ball in the air, or he's looking for grass. More than often than not, it's in the air or a carry. There's a clear, distinct plan here that Con do not want to give Clontarf set piece. You saw the one scrum attack phase that they had, which was beautiful execution of Clontarf, but they've had one line out in the entire game. That's not an accident. That's tactical masterclass out of Cork Con so far. Now 10 points is a dangerous lead, a very dangerous lead, and the benches will have an awful lot to say about this.
If you could see the look on Ger Burke's face when he said 10 points is a dangerous lead, it was kind of like a moment where it shouldn't be. But Dan, to Ger's point, you can see Andy Wood is remonstrating. He's trying to really rally his troops. There's a little bit of calmness. We see water and ice packs on heads with Con. What way do you think Tarf need to approach this game in the second half to get back into it? Because as Berkey alluded to, it was one phase for Sheridan's break to get the try, and it was off a turnover. They've been living off scraps effectively.
Yeah, they have, but they'll stay. They're still in this game. There's only 10 points in it. I think what they're counting on, or what they will be counting on, is how attritional they've brought that. They've asked that physical question, and eventually, I think that they're counting on is for Cork Con to eventually the energy levels to drop, to become sapped, and because of that, when that energy level drops, Tarf are going to try and take advantage. They're expecting that Cork Con won't be able to maintain the intensity that they've had defensively or physically in those 50-50 battles, and that as the second half goes on, when they were looking 10 minutes left to go, that's when they'll turn the screw, and that's when they'll get their scores.
Probably said the game can't keep at this pace. The Cork Con defensive effort can't sustain that for 80 minutes. Some of the body on the line shots there, the bravery, the work rate has been absolutely phenomenal. How long can they last, and then what can the bench do, are the questions that remain. It's a fairly aggressive team talk that seems to be happening with Clontarf. I was just having a gander at over there. A lot calmer in the Cork Con's area. I think you're going to see a fired up Clontarf come out here second half, and again, it's just more of the same for me, please.
Indeed, it will be. Well, one thing is for certain, there is 40 minutes for either side to book themselves a place in this season's showpiece final, Sunday, April 28th, next Sunday at 4 p.m. The game live on TG Car. The winner of today's game will face off against Terranure or Lansdowne, who clash at 4:30 p.m. That follows this broadcast live on Irish Rugby TV. Dan Mooney, we've been absolutely spoiled thus far. I asked Ger Burke for his prediction before the game, and you said your prediction. Are you staying true?
I mean, a 10-point lead with 40 minutes to go. At this point, I'm kind of rooting for Con, and I never thought I'd ever say that as a young Munster man. But they've come at this enterprise with such creativity, with the work rate you'd expect. They've played heads up. Hederman is fielding balls, and the first thing he's doing, he's looking up. He's going, "Where's the space? I want to run at it," and I hope for them.
We're back underway in Temple Hill as that ball bounces off the chest of the normally very reliable Fionn Gilbert, but he is backed up by his number 8, Tony Ryan.
To state the obvious, lads, this is the most important period of the game, the third quarter, and the next score is absolutely huge.
It's taken 40 minutes or so, but that's the first cliche of the afternoon from Ger Burke.
The fatigue has reached the commentary box.
As Taylor has the ball here and he fancies a go. He's got Hurley on the outside, and Hurley is electric. Finds a little soft shoulder there, but the Tarf defence just about get to grips with him, and we start the second half with the same pace as we ended in the first, as Niall Keneally looks to go hard. JJOD tries to get his hands over the ball, but the Tarf breakdown is working well thus far, and Sean Duffy picks up where he left off in the first half with ball in hand. Taylor again goes towards Ford. Ford sweeps out the back, and it's a lovely little pass, and Bowen, what a touch on the left foot by Bowen, and it's blocked down by Eidsall Aranzana King. And the skill level, we saw that little wraparound in the European Cup quarter-final or semi-final between Leinster and La Rochelle, between Furlong. Connor using incredible dexterity and skills between their forwards and back yet again, Berkey.
Absolutely. What I love about it is it doesn't matter whether you're number 1 or number 14. If you find yourself in a position where you need to throw a pass, they're throwing it. You're finding often the Con have actually got forwards in that backdoor option, and again, very, very comfortable there. But also when they need to just be front foot and direct, they're doing that as well. Really interesting to see if they go for a line out or a dummy maul, or sorry, maul or dummy maul
split
here.
as they go towards Hoyland, but it's just through the set of the hands there, and that's it. An option gone ruined. Byron absolutely clatters into Keneally, who gets to grips with him. Murphy out to Kelly to Darcy. Darcy has a little look, decides to tuck the pass instead of a wide ball, and Con so far marshalling that defence, and they have a real go at the ruck. But the referee, Stuart Gaffigan, says we won't play any advantage and we'll come back for the knock on there. Interestingly there, Dan Mooney, Tarf electing to play probably with an advantage, albeit, but Matt Darcy seems to have so much time in the ball, and he's been key to anything good Tarf have done in that first half.
They've scored 2 tries, and both those tries have come off decision making from Matt Darcy in the middle. This is what you get when you've got a seasoned guy like Darcy. He knows his rugby, he knows what he's about, he picks the decisions they've got to make right. Now, we said at half time it was a very aggressive looking team talk. Tarf are going to bring that aggression onto the pitch, but whether or not it's controlled enough is going to be the deciding factor, I think, as this game develops.
For me, again, there's an overlap there, and they've got to go after that more. They've got to try and put their winger away in space. There's a slight bit of hesitation because of where they are in the pitch at times to throw that pass, and they're kind of caught in between in no man's land.
Yeah, we've seen defensively. We've just seen Aranzana King, Etzal King, popping up, working here. I'm just thinking, we haven't seen him on the ball. We haven't seen the pace that he's capable of. We haven't seen him try to take the outside of a defender, and that's because they're just not making those decisions. They're not going for that edge.
Talking about fatigue, the scrum is going to become a huge part of the game, and fatigue will have a massive impact on that as we have the first scrum in the second half. Fascinating battle in the first half. Looking forward to more of it here.
Self-administered water breaks there, very tactical tying of the shoelaces. I think both sides will be happy as Brian Scott and Mick Carney of Con and Tarf respectively get on, but the pace of this game for 43 minutes, even with the break at half time, has been absolutely frantic. 27 points to 17 in favour of Cork Constitution, who were bidding to reach their first semi-final since 2019, where they did beat Clontarf in that final. Tarf themselves have a 10-point deficit to overturn to reach the final for the 3rd consecutive year if they are to make it. And referee Stuart Gaffigan says on the right hand side that Luke Masters dropped his point, and Ivan Soroka is very happy with that, Berkey.
Clontarf will have felt that's been coming. That's much more patience from Soroka. He won the hit. He had Masters under pressure, and probably we're at 1-1 now. He looked to squeeze the knife there, and as I said, that battle is going to become very, very important as the ball nearly takes out the screen in front of us.
Conor Kelly has just missed a couple of grand's worth of gear there with the ball, the commentary set up, but
I wasn't worried about the screen. I thought that was going to get me right between the eyes. It was coming straight for me.
Thus far, Tarf with their second line out of the afternoon, they haven't panicked and still remain in this game. They go towards Gilbert in the middle. It's well taken in this Tarf maul. Ger Burke alluded to it earlier. Con were very cognizant of it, and Tarf looked to get a rumble on here. The ball is at the back with the captain Donnellan, and as they try to move forward, they're going there. Ball is available at the back, and Murphy goes towards Darcy. Darcy's got Burden on the flat line, but Kelly goes out the back, and it's Sheridan again. The danger man has got the ball. He gets outside. It's a lovely little pass there, and Peter Mara has got legs on the outside, and Mara is going to go the whole way, and Tarf have scored an absolutely sensational try. We saw the dummy line by Matt Darcy on that inside, had Bird on his outside. Conor Kelly goes on the outside there again, Berkey. Sheridan has been worth his weight in gold, but Mara shows a clean set of heels, and all of a sudden with the conversion to come, we're back to a one-score game.
Clontarf Rugby 101. Absolutely exceptional take from Sean Gilbert. They squeezed the life out of the Con pack. He might look like, they only took 10 or so metres, but 60 metres out, but it does serious damage. And then they're on the front foot. It's quick ball. That's the second time you've seen now a similar play where they come out the back door and they look to throw, instead of another hit or something that's predictable, when they come out the back, they're looking to rip it to Noah. at 15, and that's a slight variation. He was on a bit of a hit line earlier. There's an overs hit line here to get him on pace, but when they come out the back there, that's who they want on the ball.
Well, explain to us, Berkey, there just how difficult it is to defend that, because Sheridan is coming from the inside with Bird running that line, sitting down the defenders. They're going to get space on the outside, and they've executed to perfection for the third occasion.
When you haven't probably gone through it during the week on video, it's very, very difficult because you're put in a situation where it's a live decision. But I think, that's twice we've seen it where they've come out the back and it's wherever Noah appears, the ball appears.
Kelly's conversion drifts off to the right hand side. It's 27 points to 22, and Dan Mooney, catch your breath.
I mean, how classic Clontarf is that, right? That's a line out maul in their own half, and they've scored a try out of it. That's how good that maul is. That's how good they are at those set pieces, that they can build off of that platform in their own half and score a try.
Their ability to keep themselves in the game, it's exceptional, and that's why they're in finals as regular as they are. They're an exceptional side.
Taylor slides off the outside of the right boot, but O'D took his eyes off the ball. And an uncanny error there with the sun at their backs there by JJ O'D.
This scrum is massive. If Clontarf can get a penalty here, it's a real change of the tide. You have to think it's a momentum swing. If Cork Con can keep it rock solid and get into an attack, Eco maybe even take 3, then this is a huge moment for me.
Ivan Soroka got the first penalty of the second half.
We mentioned it in the first half how decisions, refereeing decisions, even out over the course of a game, or maybe some people say over the course of a season. But that was the first scrum penalty that Tarf had. It was that last one. There's probably going to be another 1 or 2 calls made in their favour as this game goes on.
Murphy starting off the back of the scrum for Tarf as they go very hard at that, but referee Gaffigan, Mystic Cherburg, calls the penalty there, and moving around maybe a little bit over eager for Tarf to impose themselves there, Berkey.
Yeah, he's saying it's whipped around. It's a hard one.
You see in the replay there, looks like Masters has gone straight through there, and as you said, the hips being out.
Yeah, but it looks to me like for the moment, like Soroka, especially in the second half, is putting serious pressure on Luke Masters. As right in front of us, can't look the ring change in their front row. But Soroka, again, being over eager and probably racing around the corner, it gives an easy decision to the referee when he could have just inflicted a small bit more patience, like we've spoken about since the start then.
Yeah, it's harnessing that aggression that they have and the energy that they're bringing, the nervous energy that any player is going to have, any team is going to have in a semi-final of a competition, harnessing that and using it correctly, which unfortunately for Tarf they haven't done a whole lot of. They've been inconsistent in their decision making, and sometimes they've let the occasion get to them. They've been too aggressive on certain things, and I think that scrum was there for them to take, but Soroka's in such a rush to make his hit and to make it count, and it's gone against him.
Taylor makes no mistake there from the tee. That's 100% this afternoon.
I almost predicted that. But that's some huge 3 points to settle things down again. Con making some changes now. Feeling that they probably are under been second best since the second half has started here.
Well, we certainly haven't.
Luke Masters exits the field after an exceptional 40. Probably the right decision. Billy Scannell coming off for Danny Sheehan.
Matisse Lamarck Darizat, that's 16, 20 and 25 for Con. Apologies, our 25 is not on our team sheet. I believe that is Camille Novak for Clontarf. The changes, Alexander Yusnov, Declan Adamson and Dara Bulger come in after 49 minutes attrition, and Peter Marr, the try scorer for Tarf a few moments ago, almost got his hands on the ball there. A sharp intake of breath from the Cork Constitution fans to our right hand side, audible as referee Stuart Gaffigan says is an infringement on the ground from Clontarf, excuse me. And Dan Mooney, you're visibly...
It's just that decision making again. That's a rush of blood to the head. There's plenty of players there to resource that ruck. There's plenty of players to contain Cork Con where they need to contain them down at that
just
end of
onto
the pitch.
The field, wants to make an impression,
and this decision,
in actual fact, makes a very, very poor decision.
It's so poor. It's fueled by that, like the need to get back on top in this game and to get the scores and to do what they need to do to turn this around and win this match. But it's such a poor decision, and it's cost them field position and given Cork Con an easy out.
Taylor punishes the error of the penalty from Clontarf and finds a line out 5 metres shy of the half. Danny Sheehan's first throw into the Con line out. There's a little dummy towards the front, but that goes out over the top. It's well taken by Taylor. There's a little line break there, but he's well taken down by the replacement Alexander Yusnov. And Tarf get their hands over the ball, and you could see those little moments of celebration. But Berkey, one thing that you have picked up on is this Tarf team does not panic. They found a way to get back into the game, but with those little indiscretions and penalties, as the clock ticks on, they can ill afford any more of those.
At the moment, for me, Connor tired. First half, they expend a lot of energy, emotion, and just to stay the way they have. Clontarf have changed swung momentum, and if they can actually stop giving away penalties themselves and self-inflicting some of the errors they are, I think, you know, this is their purple patch, and they need to get down and spend some time in the Cork Con half and even 22.
And James Taylor, the stoppage in play is not for an injury, as somebody tried to get to grips with James Taylor's shorts and almost took them off him, so it's a quick change for Taylor at 10 as he's shielded by the...
There's a lot of ladies rushing to the Cork Con dugout.
Constitution. A few whistles from the right hand side here. But Berkey, in terms of messaging here from Tarf and Con...
Didn't Donald O'Callaghan play for Cork Con as well? Another fella famously playing in his underpants.
James Taylor returns to the field a bit more airy than he was.
The first 11 or 12 minutes has been far from the free flow and stuff of the first half, but you do feel that there's been a momentum shift to Tarf. You know, who can capitalise? Can Con sustain this, or can Tarf capitalise and put points on the board? Because then it's going to be a really interesting final 20.
Yes, it will. Tarf have been limited with lineouts, but as we saw in the start of the second half, their maul in front of us here, 50 metres out, led to a try, but Jack Keller gets up in front of Ruan Byron, and it's a wonderful turnover, and there's a lot of space here as Keneally looks to have a go, squares and gives, and Connor moving the ball out the backs. Matty Bowen has it, tries to square and give, but it's a wonderful tackle there, and it's turned over by Tyke Bird, and Bird is on the move here, and Bird, as we said, has played a lot of rugby in open field at 15, playing at 13 on the outside. Josh Murphy, the ball at his feet, and Tony Ryan passes it on the inside.
Oh, what a hit.
It's a huge hit on Bulger there, the replacement there. Con all afternoon have been getting hard off the line there as Murphy met by both Duffy and Keller, but manages to steal a few yards. Keneally dives at the feet of the replacement, Declan Adamson. Referee Gaffigan says he's...
For me, that's a very, very harsh penalty. The Cork Con tackling, John Ford, oh my God, what a hit. Duffy again, who's gotten through a mountain of work. Niall Keneally with another exceptional square chop tackle, and he gets trapped in there by the Tarf cleaners for me. Laws are the laws, it's a penalty to Tarf.
It's really smart from Jared Bulger is what it is. Bulger knows exactly what he's doing. He's put his knee down on top of Keneally, he stopped him from even attempting to roll away.
It is a penalty, Dan, you're correct. So no, it's there though, like an exceptional line-out steal from Jack Keller, a superb line-out operator. Danny Sheehan comes down, throws a spin past 10 metres, and then Con find themselves attacking on the tram. Unlucky for Matthew Bowen, didn't probably the right decision to keep the ball in hand, but had to look after it a little bit more. Con struggling out to keep the ball and to get into the Clontarf half, a complete opposite to the first half.
Yeah, we saw Adam Maher and James Taylor dictate how this game was played in the first half. They made all the right moves, they made all the right decisions, and they had so much ball. We saw Adam Maher's passing range and his ability, because there was plenty of Cork Con ball. They've had barely a sniff of it in the second half so far. You're
starting to see a lot more injuries. Kind of every time there's a whistle blown out, there's somebody down and banged, and rightfully so. It's colossal physicality out there. What we'll see here now, though, is two fresh backs going at it. I think Cork Con will try and attack him in the air first and foremost, as that's the best way to stop Maul, is to steal the line out. But then it's got to be Maldi's got to be top priority here.
Luke Masters' jersey is actually blood soaked. Yeah. He's come up and sat into the bench. There's blood all over it. They really are giving it absolutely everything out there.
Conor Kelly, Tarf 10. He's been brilliant with the boot all afternoon. Tarf, the forwards with a meeting of the minds there. The last line out, they tried that little throw jump in around the 30-40 channel, Berkey, and it was picked off by Keller against Byron. You'd imagine Gilbert will either take the ball on himself or look for the space with Tony Ryan at the front. They need to get primary possession, and we've seen what a weapon their maul is.
Well, it's going to be more of the same.
They go towards Gilbert in the middle. Lovely little dummy by
Byron.
They roll on the outside. Eitzal King shows a little show and go to the right hand side. Ford is spewed out of the maul, but Duffy doesn't have to change his bind there, as Tarf just about have the ball. Gaffigan says the ball is available at the maul, so we play on so far. Big Con defence there again at the ruck. Kelly looks to dig in behind. Darcy is checked, and he looks to go, and it's going to bounce for Bird. It is! And Tyke Bird has scored an incredible try. Wonderful acknowledgement to the space between Kelly. The call came from Darcy Dan Mooney. You said he's been instrumental in everything. Even when he's not touching the ball, he's calling what's on.
Yeah,
what an unbelievable try.
He knows what's on, and there's two of them there. Like, there's a little queue forming for that ball as it's bouncing up. Darcy could have scored that. Bird gets it, but Darcy's made it.
The pre-game there, you'll see in the replay, Eidsall King runs to the right there, Berkey. That is pre-planned to drag the 15 out of play.
It's like, but it all comes from the maul, and people say, "Oh, well, it didn't do much damage." The level of energy it takes to stop that is unbelievable. And then they find themselves with an empty backfield, and it's just such an intelligent read from Conor Kelly. I'm sure Matt Darcy's seen that, coach on the sideline has seen that, and a most delicate think in, where they say 3 options really to get their hands on the ball. Game on, and to be honest, momentum is very much with Clontarf at the moment.
Kelly left-footed. Bowen puts him under pressure, but we are down to the slenderest of leads for Cork Constitution. 30 points to 29 here in Temple Hill in this Energia All-Ireland League Division 1A semi-final. It was 30 points to 27 in November in Castle Avenue. It was 27 points to 26 here in late January. It is 30 points to 29, and we still have 23 and a half minutes left to play as Taylor restarts, finds Tony Ryan. Tarf solid off this restart, and Ryan hammers into John Ford. The Clontarf bench not happy with something there as Conor Kelly sends Rob Hederman backpedaling, and Hederman sizes up, kicks it up into the air. Fionn Gilbert tries to put him under pressure. Kelly looks so relaxed with the ball as Hederman tries to get there. And Kelly throws the ball, but it's in the hands of the outside centre O'Riordan, and Murphy tries to get on. Very blasé there by Kelly. There's hands on the heads from some of the Clontarf coaching staff as John Ford carries and they're inside the 22. Mara finds Taylor. There's acres of space here for Matty Bowen on the outside, and it's thrown into the hands, and advantage is over. Aranzana King isn't over, Aranzana King with one in the hand. Little bit contentious, perhaps 1-1 there after one in the first half.
Very uncharacteristic of Conor Kelly to throw a pass at. Not that we don't encourage those offloads, but that was loose. A tired, probably decision from Hederman there. Again, the tactic when the ball was kicked, Hederman, the first couple of steps are at a full sprint. Eat up as much ground back as you can, then make a decision to carry or kick. I have to say, Clontarf looked to be a lot fresher than Con. The pack looked to be blowing. Clontarf look like they're ready to dig in here for the last 30 or so minutes.
Yeah, Conor Kelly's, Hederman's done so well on that. He, as you say, he sprints up, he eats up that distance, he puts the big kick up, and the pressure he put, Conor Kelly catches that ball and doesn't expect to see Hederman standing directly in front of him. And because Hederman's made that ground, he's put pressure on Kelly, and the result is a badly thrown pass and an advantage for a forward pass, and Cork Con get the field position that they want, all out of the work that Hederman's put in.
As we head towards the final quarter of the game, Jack Murphy, brother of Ben, has been sent down to warm up. Eidsall Aranzana King to the left of our screen there looks to have suffered a bit of a bloody nose, but it will be interesting to see whether Murphy is a direct swap for Conor Kelly if and when it happens. But a welcome breather, Murphy, for both sides here as we head towards
half time. For as you say, they can't maintain the pace. I suppose in an attempt to maintain the pace, there's a lot of mistakes creeping into the game. Anytime the whistle is blown, there's bodies on the floor, just simply because of the physicality. The collision there between John Ford and Tony Ryan off that kickoff, like that's. That's on par with anything you're seeing at professional level.
An unstoppable force meeting an immovable
absolutely.
object.
I met John Ford's dad before the game. He asked me to pay him a compliment.
Yeah.
I won't. I'll remain professional.
Sure, Burke will be.
Out of curiosity, Burke, did his dad want the compliment, or was it about Ford?
No, we're not here to pay compliments.
On the resumption as we enter the final quarter of this absolutely incredible semi-final, Adam Maher will feed the ball. Taylor has Hederman directly behind him at 12 o'clock. Keneally is to his left, and they try and swing around, but referee Gaffigan not afraid to make the calls and has been consistent on that front. The scrum in this very position yielded a penalty and 3 points.
A much better hit there from Cork Con to that side. Their height was much better. It's still shifting down that the weight seems to be coming through the Con loose head and the Tarf loose head. Soroka off the park at the moment, but he reluctant to give the penalty that time. Probably a right call and a reset. I don't think anybody did anything illegal there.
Sherburke laying down the law from the commentary position. No better man to do that, but interestingly, Taylor on the last time went with the swing with the scrum. He starts again with Hederman at 12 o'clock behind him. He's got Daniel Hurley and Harry O'Riordan to his right, Niall Keneally and Matty Bowen to his left. A lot of space
if
on
they
the
come
inside.
left there, he's asking a lot of Josh Murphy. There's a huge gap between Matt Darcy and Josh Murphy.
They go and Keneally and they
Keneally
see
gets
just
himself
that.
in that gap.
Big shot by Byron, but the referee says it's forward and an unbelievable from Byron. But Berkey, interestingly, as you're saying that, if we see on the replay, Murphy at 9 is actually starting as an extra back rower there to get out to that space, but Byron showed incredible pace to get in and make that tackle, even though the pass was forward.
Yeah, Josh Murphy did exceptionally well to get out and cover the space there, and he's defending first receiver, which is often the case, but there was a huge distance between him and Matt Darcy, and that's the hole that Keneally tried to put himself into, and lucky to be called back for a forward pass.
I mean, I can't see it. We've looked at the replay. I can't see it. Where's the forward pass? None of that looked. That all seemed.
I have to say from
forward.
here, I didn't understand. I thought it was maybe a head collision, and the whistle went for.
Owen Quilter in front of us here. The second row and back row lining up with Brendan Quinlan. Con emptying the bench. It has been hugely attritional here. They will have to wait until the next break in plays.
Two very experienced players to bring in for the last 20 minutes.
Murphy feeds the scrum again. It looked like Matt Darcy could take a carry, but referee Gaffigan says Tarf have the scrum, and Darragh Bulger gets up on the outside. The number 23 had a little look there and saw the arm go up in favour. Some of the Cork Constitution faithful not happy with that decision.
Yeah, so it's on the tight side, and the referee is saying that one of the players has scooped his hand in and just rolled that ball back.
I'm trying to interpret that myself. Then did the players maybe scoop the ball back to the Cork side with a hand
on the bind on the far side? The player drops his hand in and scoops the ball back out of the scrum.
Two fresh front rows on there. That looked like a really good scrum. A lot of pressure going through it, and then eventually it gave way.
He's wise, this is a referee with a lot of experience. He's yellow carded you a couple of times, Berkey, in the course of your career, but he knows these antics. He's seen this. He's seen it all before,
Keller steals the line out. Has been brilliant all afternoon, disrupting Tarf as Gilbert doesn't take the ball, and Keneally goes through Taylor. Wonderful show and go out to O'Riordan. O'Riordan finds Hurley. Hederman trails on his inside, and Hurley has got a lot of yards as Connor about 4 metres in from that right hand side touchline. Maher finds Taylor again, the little spot pass. Keneally goes outside to Ford with a lovely step for a big man, and Maher is demonstrating with the ref. They go on the outside again. The replacement on the right hand side there, and Con really upping the gears here.
Con bench has been superb since they've come on, adding real energy and life. The score here is really important for them.
Con again looking to go. Tarf just about getting to grips, and referee Gaffigan has given a double blow to whistle. There will be a conversation, more than a conversation. There's going to be a card here.
No, Dan Mooney, do you take your 3?
Captain Dylan Donlan
absolutely take your 3.
will go to the bin here. There was absolutely no hesitation from referee Stuart Gaffigan.
Do you go for the scrum? Dylan Donlan
with Dylan Donlan out,
they've just taken the scrum, so they've listened.
That's smart. It's a really smart decision. It's going to eat some time on the clock. You're in the position you need to be in.
That's just what we were there then, wasn't it, in Greenfield? No matter what, where, or who.
Well, it means now with a player down, they're going to have to bring in another forward, another front row to replace, and that's going to reduce numbers out the back. And this gives if they can get a solid hit on this scrum, then it gives them a massive opportunity out wide.
Again, off the turnover though on the line-out, it's absolutely sensational line-out read out of Jack Keller. The urgency to move the ball to space for Cork Con is really different to what Clontarf are doing in a similar situations. Once they got to a touchdown, the pace at which they're playing the lines, and again the Con bench made huge carries, huge energy. John Ford with a gorgeous line. We're coming out kind of S-shape, dropping in rugby league style. Jack Keller again. You do feel like Con need to probably get a try here.
Yeah, Barry Gray.
I think Tarf are not done scoring, in my opinion.
Barry Gray, the replacement hooker for Tarf, comes in. We see number 18, Declan Adamson, limping out there. So Tarf will go with 7 in the scrum. James Taylor getting a little bit of treatment there as well. There is an air of tension building in Temple Hill here. Scores from around the grounds in the other 9 promotion and relegation playoffs will be at full time. The lads working hard back in studio there. We have seen some scores, but we need to wait to verify those. It's all set. Maher plays the ball at the back, and Tarf under real pressure there in that penalty. And a punch in the air of Danny Sheehan. And we don't want to quite say, Berkey, that this looks ominous, but that scrum is a real statement from Con.
They're a little far out for it to be a guaranteed penalty try. They're about, I'd say from my reckoning, they're about 8 or 9 metres out from the line.
Yeah, I think Ben Murphy needs to be careful here as well. Like, that's an absolutely unnecessary shove on Adam Maher at the back. Yeah. He's pushed him onto the ground. That's more of that decision making. What you're doing there is telling a referee, I'm under pressure, and I'm not making smart decisions.
For me here, this is really important. Like, if Con have the pressure on, keep the ball in, fine. But if in any bit of doubt, keep the ball in.
Trying to make a change here in front of us, but it's not being allowed as the clock is back on again. They're trying to get Ben Griffin onto the pitch. Jack Murphy has entered the fray for Tarf. And referee Stuart Gaffigan says that has come up in the scrum. Tarf trying, as they might, trying to get Ben Griffin back onto the pitch here. Whether or not they'll be allowed.
That's exactly my point there. Like, don't force a look for the penalty here. If it's not on and you've got the front foot ball, let's just play and back your attack.
I mean, I've seen referees penalise that. I've seen referees put their hand out, and that's 2 in a row. But in this case, again, he's making smart decisions all day. He's been making brave calls as well. I think he's had a fine performance, actually, the man in the middle.
You have to remember Cork Con are a player up here, so like once they've got front foot ball, I'd be looking to move it. Unless it's blatant that they have dominance, I wouldn't leave it in.
They've got a 2-2 on the right hand side. James Taylor can sling that ball to Hurley, and Maher goes towards Keneally, and Keneally knows one way forward, and Keneally is going to go under the sticks. And Niall Keneally, the man who has missed an awful lot of this season, has come back in. And Berkey, we spoke before the game about him being a big game player with just over 13 minutes on the clock. He is just that.
Between the head of hair and the actual sidestep, I didn't realise it was Keneally until I saw the 12 on his back. What an exceptional bounce off the left foot. Just gets on a soft shoulder, and once he's in that range, you can't stop him if you don't meet him square. Probably a bit of a bounce or a bit of luck there for Cork Con. We speak about the home side getting, but for me that was pivotal. They had to get a try there with all the pressure they had on him.
I tell you, Adam Maher's done so well, because that ball squirted out the back of that scrum. He realised that late, and he still managed to throw an excellent pass.
Adam Maher, both pairs of halfbacks have been outstanding today.
Taylor's conversion. Taylor, you can see he was getting some attention on that calf or hamstring, and he is not at 100%, but he will stay in that pitch until he's dragged off. The lead is back to 8 points. Tarf will need 2 scores, down to 14 for the next 5.5 minutes as Matt Darcy claps his hands. Tarf have not panicked thus far in this game and are going to need a big finish as Hyland, the captain, who's been brilliant all afternoon, carries forward, eking some yards there to get outside the 22. Brendan Quinlan in for Con is carried very well again. Cool heads needed here from Maher as Taylor barks the orders. Gilbert tries to put a little bit of pressure. There's an awkward flight on that, and Sheridan feels the ball. Just looks so comfortable, does Sheridan. Has been to the fore of everything good that Tarf have done and has yielded tries and assists this afternoon. Murphy again finds Darragh Bolger, the big man, back in as Murphy finds Darcy. Darcy is swarmed by Keneally, 2 men who know each other all too well, have been household names for the last decade or so. As Josh Murphy goes,
Cork Con really focusing on that double hit, chop focus any time they can.
You get the feeling Tarf will have to try and take a risk here with 1 or 2 passes as the Con defence has soaked up. As Bird goes out the back and Sheridan gets in off the outside, and Sheridan again would step you in a phone box, and that ball doesn't quite go to hand as it just goes off Tony Ryan. Con here can smell blood as Taylor right-footed and is inside. They will look for a 50-22. I think that was passed back in.
I'll tell you something. If you like defensive rugby, that's an absolute masterclass over 4 or 5 phases. Con's intensity, the willingness to work, and the driving Clontarf back and back and back phase by phase, and I think that's resulted in a 50-22.
It's a defensive set Brian Scott, I think, will clip out and be very, very proud of. The amount of double shots, never creeped offside, never an inkling of a high shot.
Jim Peters is in place of Ruan Boyron, the big second row, as the changes roll in for Con as well. Louis Ken and a certain Rob German back after a long sabbatical. Berkey, Con calling on big experience, and Tarf also rolling the dice with the bench.
Yeah, John Ford, in fairness, put his body on the line today, time and time again. Was a bit slow to get up off the ground after that last collision. Makes way for a young Novak, an exceptional and exciting prospect for Con. Rob German, I've seen him a couple of times this season. He may be pushing on in years, but he certainly hasn't been playing that way. He will relish this opportunity.
Maher tries to break through, and German looking for that little offload there. Would have been some introduction. And Con here in no mood to let up. They know that another score would leave Tarf at a real mountain to climb as we enter the final 8.5 minutes or so plus stoppages. Con exactly where they want to be. Tarf under the pump, but we've seen the Castle Avenue side show real mettle and grit to get back into this game at several stages this afternoon, as Maher again breaks on the outside. Tarf trying as they might to go, and referee Gaffigan says he's signalling for offside there. I believe that the penalty will be to Tarf.
Con's not in possession when he's
from his hand signals. I think what he's saying is they made it clear from an offside position.
Yeah.
They didn't come back and enter through the gate.
Okay,
is my interpretation of it, but again, we're a little far away.
Louis O'Reilly enters the fray for Tarf here, has played at 9, the former Trinity man. We've got 2 Murphys out there in Ben and Jack. Conor Kelly has left the field, changes galore for both sides. It's
not surprising, both sides have pretty much emptied the bench, if not fully emptied the bench, because of the quality of the game, the physicality, the pace of it. It's been absolutely superb day
Murphy
so far.
finds Darcy, and Maher tries to go, but he's swarmed on the outside by Hurley, and Matt Darcy again. He's going to need to find something from nothing, as Darcy is literally attacked by Owen Quilter. Tarf are going to have to zip it here. Tony Ryan does very well to hold the ball, so strong, the Wexford native.
Danny Sheehan
trying to go hard there.
More of an effort on the ball.
Murphy right footed, that's not going to find touch here. Hederman.
How good has Hederman been today, lads, on returning all those kicks?
Hederman looks to go, gets outside Jim Peters. Lots of tired bodies outside there for Tarf, as Can goes outside. Little show and go, and Tarf trying to play there in the hands of Dave Hyland. He's got real yards there, the captain, about 16 or so metres short, as Tarf trying to claim that there's men off their feet.
Turnover.
Con still have the ball through Danny Sheehan, but he's absolutely hammered back by Tarf. Still 54 or so seconds left on the bin. The captain still there. An air of silence actually falls over Temple Hill here. You can't take your eyes off it.
It's breathless, like it really is.
Ball looks to have gone forward there. It bounces off, and you get the feeling here, Dan Mooney, it's getting to the now or never stage for Tarf to get down and get a score.
Yeah, but the thing is, we saw it in the first half with 2 tries out of absolutely nowhere. They can do it from anywhere in the park, and particularly the way Sheridan is playing. If he gets on that ball, he can get you something.
Absolutely, like you're just looking for one of those set pieces to go to fall in place where everything goes right. I have to give compliments. You're talking about the bench has been emptied. Jack Keller with another ridiculously quality carry there a moment ago, as well as the work he's doing at lineout. Himself, Tony Ryan, Dave Hyland. These guys are 80-minute men, and the quality of work they get through in that 80 minutes is just extraordinary. They're real talisman for both sides. Fionn Gilbert the same. In fairness, they've gotten through a mountain of work today.
Unbelievable. It has taken absolutely everything in the 19th Energia All-Ireland League game of the season. This has not disappointed. We knew it would be hammer and tongs. Clontarf 37, Cork Con 37, Clontarf 29, 4 tries apiece. The clock is a running clock on your screen at the moment. We will be at the discretion. We estimate there is around 8 or so minutes to go. And Ger Burke, that's a lifetime of rugby.
Absolutely. And again, for a momentum thing, like Tarf looked when they got to a point behind that the game was theirs to go and win. The Cork Con bench, in fairness, has made a huge impact since, but it's going to be a nervy finish.
A huge crowd here in Temple Hill this afternoon. Wonderful to see. as Louis O'Reilly feeds the ball. Tony Ryan
Early shove.
takes it in, not showing any signs of panic. Free kick.
A free kick deep in the Clontarf 22 is far from a bad outcome for Cork Con. You imagine in some aspect they're going to get the ball back here, be it line out or just ball kept in play.
Ball in the hands of Jack Murphy, Ireland under 20. Out half, finds a decent touch, but Niall Keneally running in. You'd imagine to tell his forwards to take their time with this line out.
He's in a great hurry to tell everyone to slow down.
Sheehan has the ball in hand. We saw the last line out go awry. There has been a lot of changes there. Jack Keller still in the middle of the line out. Jim Peters and Josh Murphy, the two middlemen, Fionn Gilbert and Tony Ryan, but they go towards Highland, the ever reliable at the front. And Con happy enough to take the ball in at the front of them all. Take some time out, as it's well taken there.
You can see the Clontarf ploy there, giving them the front and very nearly turning it over.
Lamrak Darazat carries very well the open side. Quinlan, all the replacements, finds Keneally at first receiver. Harry O'Riordan again, Keneally's little dummy line there. Louis Can looks to go, the ruck becoming a bit difficult there as Hederman gets on the outside of Tyg Bird. Hederman's been brilliant. Rob German, a winner with Con. As Matty Bowen looks to go, and Bowen electric with pace.
It's like a second wind kind of got, and it's phenomenal to watch.
Murphy hammers into Jack Keller. Bowen feeling the pace, Murphy also feeling the pace. Why wouldn't you? It has been unbelievably attritional as we enter the final stages of the game. Maher tries to second guess Keneally, but Niall Keneally gets on the outside, finds Rob German. Big link up play there. Referee Gaffigan has the hand out. Con looking for it, and Con really in the groove here and look like they are set and have 1 foot in next week's final on Sunday. Still plenty of rugby to play here as Quilter goes over the head. Hyland picks it off his laces, and what a pass. And Aaron Zana King has been brilliant at estimating outside.
We give Dave Hyland the benefit out there that he knew he had advantage. I love the freedom that obviously has been encouraged by the Cork Con coach staff. That you're seeing Rob German and Matthew Bowen do that regularly throughout the season. Get in, have a snipe around the pillar area, pick and go, put the bigger forwards under pressure and try and defend them. It's an exceptional rugby out of Con, a different piece of play there.
Mark O'Sullivan and Declan Adamson re-enter the fray. Sorry, Dan.
No, I was just going to say the way that the Tarf have arranged themselves defensively, and that's what Con are playing, is what's in front of them defensively. So every time we've seen Maher make a snipe earlier in the game, it's because he's seen this blitz defence come up on the first phase, and he's gone, well, if you're going to rush up like that, then there's a little bit of space for me to run into.
And Louis Kahn, since coming on, has done the exact same thing.
He sees that blitz come up and he goes, right, I'll go this way, and now that expression of keeping defences honest, that's very much what's going on from those scrum halves.
There has been absolutely no hesitation from Con as to their decision. They will look for 3 points, and with Taylor having departed the field, we head towards Rob Hederman, no stranger to the tee himself. Hederman, right-footed, strikes through, and Con
if that proves to be the pivotal score, fitting for me that Rob Hederman is the one to get it. He has been absolutely outstanding today.
And Hederman's 3 points bring Con's tally for the afternoon to 40 points. Clontarf 11 points behind now. Would need something special to get back into this game. As we said, you have a running clock on your screen. There will be another 4 or 5 minutes in this game, so we're not quite done yet. As Murphy, high and hanging, Tarf need to get the ball back. As Jack Keller tries to get it back, Murphy slaps it back, and Tarf rumble forward. Not done yet. Louis O'Reilly finds Yusinov. O'Reilly again to Murphy. Murphy to Eitzal King. Bounces off the would-be tackle of Dave Hyland, but he's backed up again, and it's been a real feature of Cork Con's defence all afternoon to double up. And Ben Griffin linking with his replacement front row partner with offloads. Fionn Gilbert plays at 9. Tony Ryan has the ball in hand. Tarf aren't going out without a fight, as O'Reilly goes towards Murphy to Darcy, and Matty Bowen just knocks on. The Tarf bench remonstrating that looks like the right call here. Emotions very high on both sides, but Matty Bowen, we might see in the replay there, doesn't look like anything sinister.
No, they want
shoulders. He goes for a tackle.
Yeah. They want it for deliberate, but it's not.
Very vocal Clontarf supporters. To be fair, have travelled a long way and have been excellent all day. Can understand their frustration. The quality of the collisions, lads, today has just been outstanding. From both sides, it's just been a joy to watch.
It has been an incredible afternoon here in Temple Hill, but fear not, the action will continue at 4:30 this afternoon in Lakelands. Back to the capital, the meeting of Terranure College and Lansdowne. You'll be in the capable hands of Stuart McAvoy and Jack O'Sullivan for that one, and there will undoubtedly be a raucous crowd for a late afternoon kickoff in Lakelands. The lunch absolutely packed to the rafters, but for now
we may have a shandy for that one, lads.
Clontarf have to throw caution into the wind.
Two scores. I mean, if any team can do it.
Murphy has Darcy. He goes towards Bird. Sheridan, the decoy, and Eitzall King can go. There's an opportunity here, and it's going to be the replacement, Fitzgerald. And Fitzgerald scores, and Tarf are going back to get set up here. And as we said, Con may have had 1 foot in that semi-final, but their feet are firmly on the ground here in Temple Hill, because they know with 81.5 minutes on the clock to try there brings it to 40 points to 34 with a conversion to come. Regardless of where this goes, it is a one-score game. Depending on how much time is left, and we don't know, there was the possibility to bypass the conversion because they're going to need a try either way. May have been a smarter choice, but Tarfer deciding that they're going to take the conversion here.
Clontarf's ability to give themselves a lifeline is just remarkable, and their ability to punish you off set piece strikes is just, it's at a professional level. Like, that is exceptional first phase strike score there.
Murphy strikes well with the right foot, but that just trails off to the left hand side, and in such a densely populated area to hear is very, very
throw caution
quiet
to the wind here and go for it from deep.
I mean, they have to. You know, it's going to be a converted try. Like this is the only thing that's going to do it is a converted try, and so they just have to.
Trying to lip read the officials here as to how much time is left, but I think we should just enjoy what final moments
are absolutely gasping for air. What an attritional day.
Hederman goes long, but this is going to bounce. It's in the hands of Tony Ryan,
and we know he's going to go direct.
Con going very hard towards that breakdown again.
They've numbered off wrong here. Tarf have space and numbers.
It's been attritional all afternoon, and Bird goes on the outside, and Sheridan absolutely hammered there.
Not for the first
by
time
Rob
today
German.
For me. Tarf go to win the phase too late.
Yeah, I mean,
Dylan
the
Donlan
options were there.
Carries very well. Con try as they might are going, and there's the penalty that they so desired, and they're off on the move. It's a big run by the replacement, Louis O'Reilly. He had to go there, but the referee says there's no turnover from the penalty. There is hands on faces on the Cork Constitution bench on the right hand side. It's the same on the left hand side. An air of anticipation for Tarf.
Great double shot from
really
Con.
going hard defensively as Murphy is tasked with leading the charge from 10. Matt Darcy is absolutely hammered by Louis Can. Sporting a fine moustache all season is Louis Can. Be delighted to be back on the pitch as O'Reilly finds Murphy again, and Big Ben Griffin carries and gets a few vital yards there as Con going very hard after the breakdown, and they're using the space very, very well, and Darcy finds space, and it's Sheridan here on the move, and it's wonderful play by Tarf who venture into the Cork Con half. There's been a very, very quiet vocal support from Cork Con here, and it's understandable as Tarf the last throw, and they can go inside. Cork has it on the outside. Dylan Donlan, Eitzall King, the pass wasn't quite in front of him. Unbelievable. Eitzall King is on the move here. The captain Hyland tries to get the grip. 40 points to 34. We are well into stoppage time here as Josh Murphy in the second row finds yet another carry. Cleaned out by Gilbert. O'Reilly again to Murphy. Wonderful carry by Adamson again. The benches from both sides have been prolific. Both coaches backing all 23 players here in this Energia All-Ireland League semi-final, and the knock on the outside.
Rob German has.
It looks like Con have the ball in play. Tarf doing all they can to try and turn the ball over, and the referee Gaffigan says there's a knock on. Has a little look at the watch. And for the first time since 2019, Cork Constitution will be in next week's decider, Sunday, April 28th. Dan Mooney, this has been extraordinary, out of this world good. Sum up that second half in the 80 minutes
Listen,
first.
I'm not a religious man, but all the same, thank God for the AIL. That was absolutely outstanding rugby. It was everything you could have wanted. We tries, penalties, yellow cards. They gave it absolutely everything. Both of those teams emptied the tank out there, and they've given us an extraordinary game of rugby. Tarf, they stayed in there, they had a game plan, they stuck to that game plan, and it reaped them rewards. They got their tries, they were within a score at the end, but all credit to Cork Constitution. You just have to give it to them. The way they played, the intensity they brought, they pitched it just right, that intensity. They came at it the way that they needed to, and they looked at what was in front of them, moved that ball when they could and when they had to, and they were just phenomenal. It's a cracking game of rugby.
Berkey, 40 points to 34, 74 points all told. We knew it was going to be a cracker, but this league in particular in this game is bringing the game to new heights.
Yeah, look, for people like us that love the All-Ireland League, I'm just so glad that we got to, first of all, we got to commentate again with that, but that it's been streamed for the country to see what quality this league has. You know, like that's just a tip of the iceberg of the quality of player and team that there is along length and breadth of the country. That was an exceptional game of rugby. You know, every inch of grass fought for, but the quality of attack for me, you know, they're two really well drilled sides defensively, but the quality of attack is absolutely superb.
Unbelievable. We will wait for the results around the grounds. Dan, let's dissect the players. For Tarf, an unbelievable game. They do come out second best, and this is an end to their season. But between Matt Darcy, between Tony Ryan, Fionn Gilbert, to a man, they were absolutely incredible and fought tooth and nail. Many teams, as we said, and Berkey rightly alluded to it, they didn't panic, they always found a way back in, but just at the end there they left it a little bit too late. But what a team and what a game.
I mean, phenomenal. Like, there's a reason these two teams were second and third in the league, because they get wins. They know how to do that. They have the way that they play and how they impose themselves on games is absolutely phenomenal. And Clontarf did exactly what you'd expect Clontarf to do in this. They when they went to their set piece, it was good. It was incredible. Some of the mauling and some of the line out work that Tarf did, like phenomenal stuff. And then when they needed to out the back, they had it out there as well. Darcy is just one of those guys. He, you know, for a guy who's playing at 12, rather he's like an additional half back. You know, you've got your 9, your 10, and now you've also got Darcy, who's a playmaker at 12. He pulls strings, he makes calls. You know, a superb player, and he's given absolutely everything for Tarf today. And you know, they were still in it. They're still right at the end. You were watching them going, they can do it. They can still get that try. They can still convert that try. They could still win this game.
In terms of this Cork Constitution team, Berkey, we've heard Dan speak so glowingly and rightfully so about this Tarf team, but to a man, and in particular the coaches, to Johnny Holland, to Billy Holland, and to Brian Scott, for implementing a plan that the players executed. You spoke about Tarf not getting a line out in that first half, into the second half, nullifying their threats, but the likes of Niall Keneally and the likes of Rob German to come back in, the seasoned guys, and the younger guys, even though Dave Hyland is the captain, still a very young man, and the likes of Jack Keller, they were absolutely unbelievable.
Incredible. I did the maths the other day. I wouldn't trust you with a calculator, so I actually worked out the average age of the
Good to see you do a bit of work.
Yeah, well, once in a while. The average age of the Cork Con pack day was 22 and a half years old.
Wow.
The oldest starting forward is 25 in Duffy, and again he was talismanic. Dave Hoyle, around similar age, 24, going on 25. These guys, you know, they've been coming for a while. You kind of hear for the last couple of years in Cano with a young side, we're regrouping, we're rebuilding. That's all well and good, but you've got to back it up then. And this year was the year for them to step up to the mark, and by God did they. Absolutely did they. And then to mix that with like the likes of Niall Keneally, we know Niall's a veteran of the AIL. He's an outstanding player. I thought he was superb today. I didn't know if he had that performance left in him, and I don't mean that, you know, despairingly, but he was outstanding. And again, him and his buddy Rob German, after everything they've been through together, to get on the pitch and have pivotal roles in seeing that game over the line will mean an awful lot to them.
when you've got guys of their age and their calibre, particularly the way that Keneally plays, it's hard carrying, it's a huge amount of work that he has to get through. And when the tactics that they employed, keeping that ball in play as much as they did, ball in play time was extraordinarily high, and that was their tactic, that's what they wanted. But that's tiring on a body, and particularly on older players, that's an awful lot to put a fella through, and they came through it. What I'd be worried about for them is, there was a lot of guys took hits, there was a lot of guys down getting treatment. James Taylor was limping towards the end. You'd have to hope that they will have a full clean bill of health going into a final, because they deserve that.
When you're in rugby, when you're playing rugby at this level, and competitive rugby, and you look across at the scenes over there, there's two very important things then. Yeah, the final is something they have to get ready for, but they have to savour this. This is a special day in Cork Con. The sun is shining,
the pictures.
The beer is flowing.
Yeah.
Look at that scenes over there. Look at the emotion and the joy and the shouts from family members and club members. 2019 is a long time ago, lads. Before COVID, it feels like a lifetime ago. Cork Con, this means an awful lot to an awful lot of people, and they need to savour today. They need to embrace, enjoy the moments, and dress them together, tear the roof off the place with a sing song. And then I suppose come tomorrow, or maybe even push it to Monday, start looking at what's to come with Lansdowne return now, because there's a bigger animal to fry to kill. But they have to enjoy today. Then today's a special day, and I'm just glad that we were here to be a part of it.
Dan, in terms of the pictures there, Berkey alluded to, there has to be winners and there has to be losers there. Tarf went one step further, albeit not winning it last year, won it 2 years ago. These games go in cycles, but to a guy like to Matt Darcy, to Tony Ryan, with these guys that we've seen the new blood here. Tarf seem to be in a good place.
Yeah, they do. Look, there has to be winners, there has to be losers. You've said it. The thing about it is that there's two sets of winners here, right? Cork Con have won the game, but for the neutrals, this was a massive win as well, because you're watching two contrasting styles of rugby, but played so spectacularly by both of them that if you're a neutral, you couldn't help but love it. So you're looking at pictures like that. Long may that last. If we'd played out a 10-9 scoreline in a game of rugby, sure, it would have been fine for us. We like watching it, and I like dirty rugby every now and again. That would have been fine. But what we got to watch instead was an absolute cracker, an advertisement for the league.
And thankfully you're not involved in coaching any teams in the country anymore, Dan, or ever were, because we want games like this. We want teams to throw the ball around. We want fellas to express themselves, and that's what you got in both teams today. As you look there, at that Clontarf huddle out in the pitch, everyone involved in sport has been there, and they played their part there in a cracking game. And I have to say, there's fellas in that team, likes of Mark Darcy, in that, who have nothing but incredible respect for. They'll be back. Andy Wood and co, they will be back.
Yeah, there's no question about that. Like the way they play and the type of the style of rugby they do, what they bring, they'll be back in the top 4 next season again. There's no question about it. Like if I'd put a bet on it now that they will be in a semi-final again next season. They're just that good.
Indeed, but please gamble responsibly with whoever you're with. As we said on your screen, the Division 1A semi-finals, Cork Constitution will contest next Sunday's final at 4 p.m. kickoff live on TG Carr in the Viva Stadium. They will face the winners of Terranure College and Lansdowne. That's a 4:30 p.m. kickoff. Coverage is starting on Irish Rugby TV just around now. In the Division 1B promotion relegation playoff semi-finals, there have been some incredible results this afternoon. Next week's final will be we'll actually wait for the Division 1A, 1B. In Division 1B, in the 2A promotion playoff finals, Barnhall were 25 points to 23 winners over Cashel in Spafield. Adrian Flavin's side will contest the final next week, as they did last year against Queen's side. Derek Sufferin's men winning 59 points to 17 against Banbridge in Dublin. So Cashel and Banbridge bow out at the semi-final stage this season.
Yeah, I mean, Barnhall and Queen's is going to be a dinging game of rugby. I would have put money on Cashel, to be honest. I know it was talked about on the podcast during the week that the pressure was on a little bit, but...
In the Division 1A relegation promotion playoff final, Garryowen won on the road 32 points to 21 against Old Wesley, but the result of the afternoon, Old Belvedere travelled to Limerick and have beaten Shannon 46 points to 8 on the back pitch in Thomond Park. So next week's final will have Garryowen against Old Belvedere in Division 1A of the Energia All-Ireland League. Will have a new team next season, and an unbelievable win for the Ollie Campbell Park side, and the Dora Doyle side will be bidding to get back to Division 1A at the first time of asking.
Home advantage is going to be massive for Garryowen in that game next week. They'll have it now because they were the higher seed.
It's home advantage is hugely important in all these games. Then, and like even today, Con got a lucky couple of bounces that the home team tends to get.
In Division 2B and 2C for the right to play in Division 2B next season, 2A, Dolphin were 42 points to 20 winners over Enniscorthy, a big win in Virgin Media Park. Galwegians were 40 points to 17 winners over Brough. So it will be Galwegians against Dolphin in that promotion relegation playoff final in Virgin Media Park next Saturday afternoon. Bowes against Sligo is leading at the moment. That is a live score, 12 points to 11 in Annacotty. We will bring you the updates from that. But from myself, Darragh Frowley, from Dan Mooney and Ger Burke, it has been a privilege to bring you this afternoon's first semi-final in Division 1A of the Energia All-Ireland League. Many thanks to all the lads in Stream Sport, to Johnny and John Keogh who are down in Cork, and to the rest of the lads back in the studio. Many thanks. We implore you to tune in to Irish Rugby TV for the second semi-final of Terranure and Lansdowne, and enjoy the sunshine this evening.